Nation, welcome. What's up? Welcome inside another edition of the Straight Up Saints podcast. I'm your host, Chris Rosevogel. This is our final live reaction of the Straight Up Saints podcast. Unfortunately, week 18, Saints, Falcons, NFC South division title implications on the line, just not for the two teams that are actually playing in it. If the Saints win, the Buccaneers will win the NFC South. If the Falcons win, the Panthers will win the NFC South. And I think that kind of perfectly captures how dysfunctional this division has been for the last couple of years. So last live stream that we got until, well, not last live stream, but last, full game live stream until we get back to the preseason. So that's a little unfortunate, obviously, but really excited to talk Saints football with you guys. And hopefully the Saints can finish this season on a high note, beating the Falcons. I know there's a lot of talk about whether or not it'd be beneficial for them to lose in terms of, what schedule they would get and draft pick. But at this point, I'm just interested in seeing the Saints finish out this season on a high note, and they're on a 4-game winning streak. Their rookie quarterbacks look really good. I'd argue that Kellen Moore is doing some of his best work as a head coach so far. And defensively, Brandon Staley's got this defense playing at a super high level. So I'm excited about this game. I think no Chris Olave definitely makes it a little bit more difficult when you're trying to factor how is this offense going to move the ball. I mean, look at this roster. Kevin Austin Jr., Dante Pettis, Ronnie Bell. I mean, these are the receivers that Tyler Shuck's going to have to throw to today. So it's going to be really fascinating to see how he adjusts and how he handles it. But as always, guys, want to welcome you guys in and wishing everyone a happy new year as well. For those who I didn't speak to until today, I hope you guys got a good start to your new year going. And I think Saints beating the Falcons would make this a little bit sweeter. 50 years ago, this rivalry was forged as who was the worst team in the NFC South. 50 years later, we're back where it started. This is the glory of the NFC South. Who dat nation? Stand up, the flock up. It's going to be a fun game, man. I think it's going to be a fun one. I think they just announced that Kirk Cousins woke up sick today. He's going to play, but we'll see how that affects him. Jack says, well, even without Olave, the Saints have a superior receiving core, according to Giants fans. Man, this is such a fascinating game. On one side of the coin, you have Panthers fans rooting against the Saints because if the Saints lose, then the Panthers are in. And you also have Giants fans probably rooting against the Saints because for some reason, Giants fans have made it their whole personality to shit on Tyler Shuck the last couple of days. So I don't know. I don't really try to, subscribe to that nonsense too much, but it is interesting. I mean, I got into an argument with some guy that works at WFAN and I don't get it. Like if you're a Giants fan, you like Jackson Dart, that's fine. Why are you coming over here and bothering us about Tyler Shuck? Ed says, Happy New Year, Chris. Happy New Year, Ed. Hope you're having a good one. Gonna miss Saints football after this. So am I. I tweeted it this morning, and I truly feel it. The way this team has played to finish the season, I'm pretty sad that this is going to be the last game until August. I think this team has played really, really well down the stretch, and I'm hoping that, a win today over the Falcons continues the good vibes that they got going on, and then maybe that carries over into 2026. I know we're in 2026, but the actual season next fall, that's what I'm hoping for. So that's why I'm a big believer in finishing the season strong, and you hope it carries over to the next season. So the kickoff here in Atlanta is underway. Atlanta is going to field this kickoff to the 25. Going to try to break a tackle. They don't, and they get slung down at the 25. Really nice play to start that game from Isaac Yedem. So the Falcons are going to start with the ball. So a little bit of a difference. I feel like this is nice for the Saints. I like the idea if they can get themselves in a spot in that second quarter where it's a 2-minute drive for Tyler Shuck, and then see if you can kind of double dip to start the second half. Dream Ends official saying, hope Pettis has a better game today. Yeah, they're going to need him to. He's going to need to step up. No question about it. A lot of Giants fans hate Shuck. I think it's because the betting odds came out and he was the favorite and they're thinking Dart should be. My argument would be if you really want to play it fair, offensive rookie of the year should be either Kelvin Banks or Armand Membu of the Jets. I think they'll never give it a tackle, but it'd be awesome. So here comes the Falcons. They're starting at their own 25, 1st and 10. They're going to hand this one off to Bijan Robinson. He's going to cut to the left. He's going to get about 3 yards before he's tackled hard by Kool-Aid McKinstry. Stating the obvious here, folks. Bijan Robinson and slowing him down, that's the key to today's game. No question about it. What Bijan's done is, phenomenal. Phenomenal player. Killed the Rams last week. He is a special talent. I would love to see the Saints have a player like him in that running back room. I mean, that'd be fun to watch. So we'll see. Ed saying Tet should be rookie of the year. I'm fine with it being Tet for sure. I just don't get why they thought it'd be Dart. Dart had about a month and a half stretch where he did nothing. 2nd and 7 for the Falcons. They're going to hand this to Algier. Algier is going to gain about 3 yards before he is tackled down by Cam Jordan. 3rd down coming up for the Saints. Tyler Algier, going to be a free agent. I'm not saying the Saints have to go sign him. I'm just going to say this because we're going to eventually get into our offseason content fairly quickly here at Boot Crew Media. I think running back is one position the Saints should just go spend. They should just go spend because Rico Dowdle, Javonte Williams, Tyler Algier, Breece Hall, a lot of free agent running backs that are going to be there. And if they don't want to draft one with their 1st-round pick and a guy like Jeremiah Love, why not go sign someone? 3rd down, Kirk Cousins dropping back to pass. There's pressure in the pocket, and he is going to be brought down for a sack. It's Carl Granderson and Chase Young. I think they'll probably split them for half a sack each. The Saints with a quick 3 and out. And Chase Young, man, just keeps making plays, but also good on Carl Granderson. Talked on Carl Granderson a lot. Kind of had a slow end of the year. Nice play right there, though, by the Saints defensive line. I think they do a really good job of working the stunt there with Carl Granderson. He's able to get through. And honestly, I'd probably they might go half sack there. I might go full for Granderson there. That was a nice play and really nice start for this Brandon Staley defense, which just keeps making play after play after play. I love watching this unit play football. I really do. So here comes the punt. It is going to take a very, very nice bounce for the Falcons. The Saints are going to pick this one up, turn up field, cut inside to the 10, get to the 15, and brought down to the 20. So truth be told, that was a risky one right there, but you'll take it. So Nyheim Hines, who, by the way, another player the Saints are going to have to rely on with this, Ed says the best preseason lineup, making a play there. That one looked like it could be risky. Fortunately, it's not the case. So Saints are going to have, just call it average field position to start this one. And here comes Tyler Shuck and this skeleton crew of an offense that they got rolled out here. Shuck obviously coming off back-to-back 300-yard games and playing really well so far. 1st and 10, Kevin Austin's going to motion in. They're going to go with play action. Shuck's going to roll out. He's going to hit Juwan Johnson on the run, and Juwan Johnson's going to fumble the football, picked up by the Falcons, and they're going to have really good field position to start this one. So ain't that rough? And you know what's funny? I'm going to take blame for this one. I put out an appreciation post for Juwan Johnson a couple of days ago, and I was saying how he's played some of his best football. And right there, just frustrating. That's a great play to start. I like the idea of rolling Shuck out against this Falcons defensive line. And Juwan just makes a ridiculous mistake. That just can't happen. It looks like he never really had a good grip on the football, to be quite honest. But, man, that is, yeah, you guys say it. That's the Juwan you guys are used to. Really frustrating because, I mean, you have your defense get a really quick 3 and out, and then that happens. So brutal start right there by the Saints. Brutal start from Juwan Johnson. And also, the first drive woes, Robert brings it up. First drive woes continue. And that's kind of frustrating because that's a big hitter. That's a big hitter right there. Goes Falcons with play action. Cam Jordan's coming off the right side. Cam Jordan's going to get the sack on Kirk Cousins. Cam Jordan loves playing the Falcons, man. Cam Jordan loves playing the Falcons. He's still balling, man. Unreal. I don't know. I don't know what he did in the offseason. Maybe it's the different coaching. Maybe it's a coaching change, I would say. But I'll ask you guys this, and you guys let me know, because I think my answer 3 or 4 months ago would have been completely different. 3 or 4 months ago, I would have told you if Cam Jordan and Demario Davis wanted to come back, I'd say this is ridiculous. If they want to come back after the season, how do you say no? I think both have played really well. 2nd and 13 for the Falcons. They're going to hand this off to Bijan Robinson. He's going to cut back, and he is going to be brought down. That's a brilliant tackle from Alante Taylor. It's going to be another loss of yards right there for Atlanta. That is a really nice play from Alante. Because Bijan is tough to get in space, and he made a really slick cutback, but that just didn't do anything right there to Alante. Really, really nice play. Just met him right at the summit and brought him down. And Alante's going to be a free agent, so he's going to have an interesting offseason. I think there's going to be a market for Alante. I think he's a damn good player. 3rd and 15 for Atlanta. Let's see if the Saints defense can get off the field yet again after being put in a bad spot after the Juwan Johnson fumble. Kirk Cousins is going to roll to the left. He's going to throw this to Bijan in space. Bijan's going to make a cutback. He's going to make one man miss, and he is going to gain a lot of yardage. 4th down coming up. But Atlanta's got a decision. They could go deep field goal here, or they could go for it. If I'm Atlanta, last game of the season, I'm probably going for it. And let's see what they decide to do. It looks like they're going to go for it. I think this is the right decision by Atlanta. Staley's got this defense playing hard all year. Staley's been awesome. And I do think because, the Staley stint in LA didn't go that well, I don't think you worry about losing him this year, which is great. I think having continuity on this staff is going to be a good thing for this team. 4th and 3, Atlanta's lined up to go for it. They got 3 receivers lined up to the right. Drake London in motion. Kirk Cousins looks to the left. There's pressure in the pocket. He's thrown over the middle field, and he's got Kyle Pitts. It's a first down for Atlanta inside New Orleans 25. So defense couldn't get the stop right there. Think about Cam is at 37 next year. I don't know if he can maintain over 17 games, but an extension break lowers the $19 million cap number, could be beneficial for salary cap purposes. I agree wholeheartedly. And look, the thing with Cam and DeMario is, I'm fair. I don't think Taysom should be back next year, and I don't know if I'm saying something that's going to offend Saints fans. I don't know if Alvin should be back next year, guys. He hasn't had a good season, and obviously now he's hurt. DeMario and Cam have earned their keep, and it's tough. If they want to play another season, how do you say no? 1st and 10, Atlanta's going to run it off to the right side. They'll pick up about 2 yards with Bijan before he's brought down early. But so far, the Saints have done a good job containing Bijan Robinson. I think that's something that I was worried about. I'll still be worried about till this game is over. But so far, they've done a pretty good job, and definitely happy about the way the Saints defense has come to play so far. I think now at this point, honestly, defensively, you hold them to 3, I consider it a win, given where they fumbled the football. Anything other than that is great. Defense, obviously, giving up a touchdown would be tough. Alvin's time might be up, which is sad. I kind of agree. And look, it's the position he plays. Running back is tough. So Kirk Cousins take the snap on 2nd and 7. He's going to throw this one to Darnell Mooney. It is going to be a first down for the Falcons. They're set up inside the red zone. Pretty good play right there for Atlanta. A lot of space there for Mooney on that out route. Easy pitch and catch. A lot of space there that Kool-Aid gave up. They're going to mark it actually a yard short. So 3rd and 1, at least that's what I have now. They're going to go with a run, and it is going to be a first down pretty comfortably for the Falcons. So first down in the red zone. Let's see what happens. I want to win today, but I want that last play schedule too. Decisions. I get it. I'll say this, guys, though. There are a lot of times where your schedule just looks totally different than what you thought it would be, I think, for next year, the Saints obviously are going to have a tough schedule when it comes to going up against who we got this year. We got the NFC North next year, so that's going to be tough regardless. So it's tough to say. 1st and 10 for Atlanta. Shotgun snap. Takes us. Oh, and it's intercepted by Carl Granderson. Oh, my goodness. Carl Granderson read that one all the way and just drops back in coverage and makes the play. What a play from Carl Granderson. And this Saints defense, man, I love this Saints defense. I absolutely love this Saints defense. What a damn play. What a start for Carl Granderson so far. Wow. I was sitting here saying hold them to 3, and I consider that an absolute win. How about 0? And how about just pretty much getting the ball where that drive started, maybe give or take 6 yards right there. What a play from Carl Granderson. Wow. So he read that thing the whole way. That is a brilliant play. And we were talking about, Grando and how he's had a really rough year, or at least consistency hasn't been there. And goddamn, he's been the best player on the football field by a mile so far through the first 7 minutes of this game. Damn, if there was 3 more games, Saints would be winning this division. I think there's 1 more game. Honest to God, if you told me the Saints had to play the Panthers next week or the Bucks next week and the winner would get the NFC South, I'd take the Saints. And I think that you have to do everything in moderation, because I think one thing we're going to discuss heavily here on the Straight Up Saints podcast over the next couple of months is how aggressive should the Saints be. I don't think the Saints should be here thinking, okay, let's get rid of all our draft picks and let's go all in. But I think the Saints should be aggressive enough that they fix this roster where next season we come in and we go, why can't the Saints win the NFC South? And honestly, my expectation is going to be that they will win the NFC South. And a big component of that is, man, I look at the Saints and, today, even if he plays bad, it's not going to change the way I feel about him because the tape has been there. The Saints might have the best quarterback in the division going into next season. And sometimes football can be as simple as do you have the better quarterback and do you have the better coach? I don't know about the coach part yet. I know about the quarterback. And I feel man, I think the Saints are going to have the advantage in that department. And Bryce Young saw yesterday, there's times where he struggles. He's also due a contract. If you're Carolina, do you want to extend him? Baker's going to be eligible for a new extension. Baker's a good quarterback, but Baker at $33 million and Baker at $50 million, that's a big difference. So I think Tampa could look a little different next year. And Atlanta, I mean, we do this song and dance with Atlanta every year where their roster's really good, so they get a bunch of primetime games. And do they ever actually win anything? No. So, and look, Kirk Cousins might be their best quarterback, and he's going to be gone after this year. They're not keeping him. So it's Penix off an ACL injury, and that's a little bit concerning. So I think if the Saints play their cards right, they can be financially responsible while also really elevating this roster. Like, they can add a running back, they can add a wide receiver. I think they got to bolster the guard play, and then maybe add some pieces here and there that Brandon Staley's defense takes that next step. Look at that replay, by the way. So they're going underneath to Kyle Pitts. Granderson just reads that the whole way. I agree, Chris. I've seen enough to think Shuck is our guy until we see otherwise. Right, and at least for next season, there's no question he's the guy, you know? I'll get to more comments in just a sec. For Saints fans, the Saints take the snap here. They're going to go with a run from Audric Estime. He's going to try to bounce this to the outside. He's going to lose about 2 on the play. So let me get into some comments that I missed here. Yo, will Kirk Cousins get under 214? I need your expertise. It's tough to say. I'm going to say he gets under. I think the Saints defense, I think Atlanta's going to want to be a run team today. I'm going to say he gets under. We'll see if that ends up happening. But right now, game script-wise, first quarter's going pretty well for you. And if the Saints can get some first downs here, that'd be great. 2nd and 11. Shuck's going to take the shotgun snap. He's going to throw underneath to Audric Estime. Audric Estime is going to make a man miss, but kind of stumble after about a gain of 4. Mike said 87 watching, only 7 likes. Yeah, guys, if you can, please, if you haven't already, like the video and subscribe to Boo Crew Media. It really helps us out. And I promise we will have a lot of content coming up, probably as early as tomorrow. Well, definitely tomorrow. And then we'll have some content coming up throughout the week as we talk about some free agent, acquisitions they can make. A lot of excitement, I think, for this team. I think this team's trending in the right direction. 3rd down for Shuck. He's going underneath. He's going to throw it, hit his man, but it is short of the line of gain. It was Ronnie Bell. 4th down. Saints go 3 and out very quickly. So don't love that right there. Draft well again and we'll be straight. That's the quickest key to being successful in this league, right? Think about the Saints right now. We feel good about the Saints in large part because they just drafted well. Kelvin Banks, that's your left tackle of the future. Tyler Shuck, we hope he's your quarterback of the future. Quincy Riley's been a really nice DB this year. Jonas Sanker's been a nice DB this year. I think there is something to Danny Stutzman's game. Just hasn't been on the field enough. And then Devin Neal. Devin Neal was playing well before he got hurt. So drafting is absolutely the key to getting back on track. So here comes the Saints. They're going to punt it here. We'll see where this one goes. Punting has been a very silent weakness for them, but that actually is an excellent punt, and the Saints feel that one perfectly. Perfectly done. Shut him down at the 35, and we'll be right back for the Falcons. Actually, 25 around there. Excuse me. My eyes are deceiving me. Tyler Shuck's doing really good. What do you think of this draft? I think the Saints had a great draft. Look, I think the Saints right now, I don't believe in giving grades after the draft. Right after the draft happens, because we don't know if these kids are going to be any good. But after you get a year of actual sample size, I think it's fair to discuss. And can you give the Saints anything less than a B+? Can you give them? I don't think you can. I think you probably got to start with an A, maybe A-. Kelvin Banks is so good, and he's only going to get better. And I think Shuck is a really good quarterback so far. Whether or not he's going to be able to improve is the question. So I'm going to go, screw it. I'm going A. I'm going to go A. Look, I think the Saints have hit, there's 4 positions that I think are the most important in football these days. Quarterback, obviously. I think you need good offensive tackles. You need good pass rushers. And I would argue the 4th one's up for debate. You could say it's corner, or you could say receiver. I think in today's NFL, it's probably wide receiver with the way the rules kind of tend towards them. But the 3 most important positions, in my opinion, quarterback, offensive tackle, defensive line, put them whatever order you want as long as QB's number 1. I think for the Saints, for you to address 2 of those positions and you do it in a way where both are really excellent players, in a really good spot. So I love it. And yeah, they haven't seen Vernon Broughton yet. And look, man, I think that's exciting too for next year, right? You can kind of, you maybe this is unfair to say, it's kind of like a cop-out, but you can kind of think of him as an addition for 2026, right? Because you didn't get to see Vernon Broughton this year, but I know they do like him. This game feels like the last day of school. Hot take. I hated the last day of school. It's kind of sad. You don't end up seeing some of your friends until that September. Maybe a little bit of hot take there. Bro, let's go Saints. I need a win. My Bucks look terrible. We were 2-7 in the last 9 games. We'll see what happens, Dylan. I think the Saints are going to win today, personally. I really do. I think they're going to pull it out. If they don't, it is what it is. I just think this team is really resilient. And the reason I say that is, man, they were 2-10. I mean, that they had every reason to kind of shut it down. I'd say go look at the New York Jets and go look at the way they kind of just mailed it in for the rest of the season. Saints have not done that. We got Falcons fans saying they already won the trade with the Rams. I don't know how you could say that. I mean, Rams could win the Super Bowl potentially and have a top 10 pick. Got to think Rams win that trade. And if you're the Rams, man, they could be aggressive if they want. Do you think we should go after Dallas Goedert? I think again, I don't think it's a bad question. But I'm going to use the same answer I'm going to have for a lot of these type of questions. I think as long as the Saints are responsible about how they spend their money, I'm cool with it. 1st and 10 for the Falcons from their own 27. They're going play action. Kirk Cousins is going to throw this one, and it is going to be, I think that hit the turf. They're saying it is a catch, or they're saying it's incomplete. Now they're saying it's incomplete. Yeah, it looked like it hit the turf. So 2nd and 10 coming up. But yeah, now Goddard's a really good football player. If I'm Philly, I'm not trying to lose Dallas Goedert. On the flip side, there is history with Goddard and Kellen Moore, so that would be a plus. I think tight end's a position the Saints can add. Don't let the Juwan Johnson fumble fool you, though, in the sense that, they need to get tight end. I think they need a running back, a wide receiver, and an offensive guard more than they need a tight end. Getting another tight end would be great, though. I really think it'd be helpful for this team. But I think they need a wide receiver, too, and a running back more. 2nd and 10. Kirk Cousins under pressure. Carl Granderson's. Oh, my God. That's going to be an overthrow. Yep. So 3rd and 10 coming up. Let's see what we got here. I mean, we got to give gum-smacking Mickey credit for this, but it was a good draft. It was a good draft, I think it was a good draft. I think, look, I'll give Mickey all the credit in the world as long as he's making good plays. There is a penalty on the Saints, so it is going to be, I believe, an automatic first here. We'll see what the penalty call is. So Lante was lined up. See what they end up calling. Yeah, all right. I think as far as penalties goes, that's a little bit bullshit, but it's what it is. So 1st down for the Falcons. Pretty unfortunate. Off topic of Purdy did so bad last game, I'm saying switch him with Mac Jones already. Oh, Jesus Christ, no. I'm not trying to be rude, but if you think that game was on the quarterback yesterday, I don't know what to tell you. Seattle just frankly beat the crap out of them in the trenches. And I think had you had a less mobile quarterback in Mac, I think that game would have been even uglier than it already was. And that's not to say that the quarterback gets, a pass for putting up 3 points in that game. But man, Seattle's that defense is crazy good. They are physical. The secondary comes down into the box and has no problem hitting. That D-line's playing at a great level. Jerron Reed was incredible yesterday. Just really good stuff, man. Just really, really good stuff. And that's a team that right now, the way they're playing, potential Super Bowl favorite. 2nd and 9 for Atlanta here. From their own 33. Kirk takes the snap. He's going to hand this one off to Algier, and he's going to pick up about 3 yards. 3rd down coming up. We'll see if the Saints defense can make yet another stop. Carl saying your opinion on going after Max. So that's been a big hot topic on Twitter this weekend. Two components to the Max Crosby thing. The first thing is, as I keep saying, I'm going to sound like a broken record. I don't think the Saints should be swinging for the fences yet. I think swinging for the fences is how you end up like the Commanders this year, where Commanders went all in. Oh, let's get Deebo Samuel. Let's get Laramie Tunsil. Let's get all of these aging players. And it's like, okay, but now you're the oldest roster in the league, and some of these guys are banged up. And I know Jaden Daniels is being injured is why the Commanders think this year, but the roster is also not structured well. I'll get back to that in a second. 3rd and 5 for Atlanta. Kirk Cousins takes the snap. He's throwing over the middle. That could get picked, and it's not. It's going to fall incomplete. Good coverage from Kool-Aid McKinstry, and this Saints defense makes yet another stop. So really nice stuff there from New Orleans. Let's see if this offense can get something going, man. Let's see if this offense can get something going. Help your defense out a little bit. I think it's about time to do that. All right, so let's get into losing my mind here. Let's get into the Max Crosby thing that you mentioned. So part of it is the expense. I also don't know if Max Crosby makes sense for this Saints team right now. I think you have a really, really good pass rusher in Chase Young. Do you want to go add a guy in Max Crosby who is going to cost you an awful lot? I just don't think that makes sense to me. So to me, I'm not going after Max. I'm not. It's expensive. Let a team like Dallas go after Max Crosby and make that move. Saints are going to let this punt fall inside the 10. So Naheem Himes trying to give us a heart attack there. So I don't know. I'm anti getting Max Crosby. I think Max Crosby is a really good football player. I just think where the Saints are at right now, you already have a premier pass rusher in Chase Young. I don't know if I'm trying to add a really expensive one for $35 million or whatever it is. because Max's contract is going to be awfully expensive. And then you're going to have to give up a lot of capital. I saw the trade offer. Someone said a first in 2 seconds. No way should the Saints ever consider that at all. So, and by the way, if you were going to go all in for a pass rusher, I'd rather go all in for, well, not anymore because he got signed, but there's a difference. I'd rather go all in on Micah Parsons than I would Max Crosby. I think there's levels to these players. And I don't know if Max is worth the first in 2 seconds. Like I saw that trade offer. That said, if the Saints want to make trades this offseason, they can still make trades. I just don't think that is the one to make. I think maybe getting like a veteran player on like a day 3 type pick, when there's contracts that people are trying to move, maybe you consider, but even then I probably wouldn't. I think the Saints should stick to what they're doing. Another draft would be helpful for them. Getting a running back in free agency. Look, man, if you look at this class coming up for running backs, Tyler Algier, Javonte Williams, Rico Dowdle, Travis Etienne, Breece Hall, some of these guys are going to hit the open market. And if you're New Orleans and you're saying, oh, well, you know what? I don't want to use a top 10 pick on Jeremiah Love, which I guess is understandable. I think you can just attack running back in free agency. Would have to imagine they'll attack offensive line in free agency, and then use the draft. Maybe get yourself a pass rusher. Maybe get yourself a wide receiver. So I think pass rusher and stuff like that, I maybe might want to attack that in the draft if I'm New Orleans. We would start next season with $66 million dead cap. Trying to trade or sign some big names like Max, not a good idea. Yeah, I'm not for it personally. Enrique saying, I'm here, let's go. What's going on, man? Shador is absolutely not Saints material. I mean, they don't have any need for Shador, so I don't know how Shador keeps coming up. I wish him all the best, right? I think it's better for the league if he ends up being good, but I don't see where he fits. Mike saying he's so expensive and we need to sustain a drive right here. Only 2 minutes time possession right now. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more, Mike. I think this is absolutely one of those drives where, you get another three and out. At some point, your defense, just from exhaustion, is going to give in. So got to sustain something here. And it's key to make sure those early downs, you're not losing yardage. They lost yardage on that first down play to start this drive, the last drive. And then obviously the drive before that, you get a quick hitter and Jawan fumbles. So not great. Man, if Bain falls to Saints, do you take him? So my worry about Bain is he doesn't fit the athletic measurements that they like. But how do you not watch these Miami games and go, man, he's a damn good player? Because Miami's defense has been punking people around. So I'll get into more comments in just a sec, guys. 1st and 10 for the Saints here from their own 11. Shucks under center. He's going to take the snap. He's going to toss this one out to Audric Estime. He's going to cut back to the left, and he's going to pick up, fight for about 2 yards before they blow the whistle dead. So 2nd and 8 coming up. Nice cutback there from Audric Estime, but nothing going right there. Do you think Mickey and Harley will consider Bain with his arm? Like, I don't. And I'm going to be honest, man. I kind of hate that type of stuff. Like, I hate this idea that Ruben Bain, because of his arm length, is not going to be on the board for them. I think he's a really good player. I'm not saying that's what they have to draft, but if the Saints are picking 10 and Ruben Bain's there, I feel like that's really good value. So we'll see. 2nd and 8 for the Saints. They got Pettis in motion. Looks like Shucks looking there. He's working to his next read. It's thrown over the middle, and it's off the hands of Kevin Austin Jr. Let's see this one. It looks like it was a little bit of, out of his reach, but we'll see what happens. Maybe he didn't get out of his route cleanly, or maybe it was just a missed throw there from Shuck. See here on the route, A.J. Terrell matched up against Kevin Austin Jr. So this is where it's always an interesting to see the replay, right? Because in that one, it might look like a bad throw from Shuck. It looks like Kevin Austin Jr. just kind of stops on his route. It's just that moment of hesitation. Now, could the throw be better? Maybe, but stops there. 3rd down for the Saints. Shuck's looking to the left. He's throwing this one deep, and it is incomplete. No flag? Are we really not getting a flag there? Wow, I'm surprised. So Saints go 3 and out yet again. Flirting with disaster with these 3 and outs here, guys. Flirting with disasters here. I can see the Arizona quarterback coming to New Orleans next year. Kyler, get the hell out of here, man. Get out of here. Look, no disrespect, but like, Kyler does not fit this team at all. And also, like, the teams that I think are going to go after Kyler Murray, I think you're looking at, not Vegas. They'll be picking Mendoza probably. Minnesota, the Jets, like, those are the teams that are probably going to look at him. And Saints should not be in the quarterback market, and that punt ends up being blocked. And Atlanta's going to pick this thing up. Are they going to pick it up? We'll see. They will. They're going to pick it up at the 8, and they are going to get inside the 5. What an absolute shit show here for the Saints. We talked about punting before, guys. We talked about punting before, and that is pretty fucked, to just say the least. So Falcons are going to have an immediate first and goal opportunity here. Let's see what happens. Looks like they kind of sent two. Taysom couldn't get both of them at the same time, as much as a superhuman he is. And Robinson blocks the punt. What a disaster. Kai Kroger turned into a freaking helicopter there. I think special teams for New Orleans is the one thing you want to fix this offseason. Doesn't get talked about enough, but, you know, for all the love we give Brandon Staley, and he deserves it. He's been freaking awesome. And Kellen Moore has gotten better and better week to week as an offensive play caller. Special teams been bad for the Saints. So first and goal for Atlanta here from the 5. See, the Saints defense has another miracle in them. They're going to go with a run to the left. Bijan's going to cut this to the outside, and he's going to score. That was, I'm not going to lie, Bijan almost shook me out of my shoes there. Let's see what the call is, though. There is a flag. It's going to be holding. It's coming back. I'm not going to lie, though. I don't think I've seen a running back cut the way Bijan does prior to, let's go Adrian Peterson, honestly. Like, these are violent cutbacks that he makes. And it's not going to count there, but goddamn, he is so freaking good. So good. How many yards does Tyler have? Let's pull it up for you. It's 29. So not a lot at the moment. Carolina should have won last night. Don't like when people say versus refs, but it really was Panthers versus refs. The refs were a shit show yesterday. I mean, the backwards pass. I forgot what other call they made. That was the OPI on Tet McMillan. Unreal. Le'Veon Bell, I would say. I think that's fair. I would say this, though. Love Le'Veon Bell. One of my favorite running backs. I don't think I've seen a more patient runner than Le'Veon Bell. His cutbacks, as good as they were, I guess it's the juice that you see with Bijan. Like, when Bijan makes a juke or makes a cutback, it's like, it's zooming. It almost looks like it's not normal. Le'Veon was great at it. I will say, though, I wish there were more running backs like Le'Veon Bell, because Le'Veon Bell did everything. He would not come off the field because he was a great runner, patient runner, good pass blocker, really good receiving back, too. His receiving numbers are excellent. It's a shame that his career just, like, ended on such a shit note, but he was a great player. I like guys who produce on the field and film instead of arm length and measurements. I get it. Look, it goes both ways, right? Because I'll take a Saints example that didn't work out, because measurements didn't work out, but production was there. You guys remember Haoli Kikaha? I think that's how his last name was pronounced. I can't even remember. I might have butchered it, but we had him with the Rob Ryan defense, and his production was great, but didn't really do much there. First and goal for Atlanta from their own 15. From the Saints 15, excuse me. Kirk Cousins is going to take the snap. He's going to drop back. There's a little bit of pressure. He's going to step up, throw to the left, and this is going to be knocked away. Mooney's looking for a flag. He's not getting one. Great play by Quincy Riley. Really, really good play by Quincy Riley. I want to see the replay because it might end up being PI, but it's not called. So he got there. I mean, he got there early, but look, when I put it in slow-mo, half the time they're going to say he got there early, but he did get there early. I'll take the no call, though. Would you rather have Gibbs or Bijan? I don't know, man. I love Gibbs. I might go Gibbs, but barely. You know what? Fuck it. I might also go Bijan, because, like, at the same time, like, Bijan's got bad play calling, in my opinion. Kirk Cousins take the snap on second and goal. He's looking to the left. He's got all day to throw. Now he's going to look to the middle. He's going to throw it to the right, and he's wide the hell open. I mean, Drake London was wide the hell open. Touchdown Atlanta. What the hell was that? Good Lord. All right, well, Atlanta's going to take an early 6-0 lead here. We'll see if the extra point goes through. But, man, Saints pass rush was heating up this whole first quarter, and then right there, Kirk Cousins had all day to throw, and that makes the difference. Also, the difference in not having Chase Young on the field on that moment, right? Saints work a stunt, and it does not matter. I mean, Chris Rump gets absolutely destroyed, and Drake London's just chilling in the back of the end zone. See the coverage breakdown here. Ooh. It's as bad as it gets. And you know it's bad when everyone starts looking around like, well, was that your assignment? Was it my assignment? So how many rushing yards does Bijan Mustard got? Are we talking about today or are we talking about the season? Because today, right now, Saints have locked him up. 5 carries for 7 yards. Caleb Downs moving up on the list. Caleb's a great prospect. If the Saints can get Caleb, I'm cool with it. This is what happens when Chase Young's not in the game. Agreed. I mean, watch that rush from Chris Rump. If you guys want to go back again, watch that rush. Yeesh. Not what you want to see. Need some goddamn field position. Need some field position. Need to sustain a drive here. I mean, these quick 3-and-outs are pretty brutal. Not going to lie, I wish we would have had gone Kirk Cousins instead of Derek Carr. I don't disagree. I always never understood why people thought Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr were the same quarterback. I don't view it that way. I think that Kirk Cousins has always been better. That said, I mean, if this is, if Derek Carr got us to this point and maybe if Shuck ends up being the guy, I'll take it, Chase says, my gosh, were the Falcons not holding there on that touchdown? I thought it was good pass protection. Thought it was really good pass protection. This game's going to be a big challenge for Shuck, and if he wins, he needs Rookie of the Year. I mean, I think that's the only path to it, right? If Shuck throws for like 250 and 2 touchdowns and a win today, I think he may get it, but we'll see. Carr will go to the Raiders. I don't know. I do think Derek Carr is going to be back, though. I would say the teams I'd look at, I would say Indianapolis. I'd say Minnesota. If I'm Minnesota, I'm not against taking in Derek Carr because I know I have the offensive play caller in Kevin O'Connell, and I know I have an elite receiver in Justin Jefferson. Why not go out and get Derek Carr? He could probably compete and push J.J. McCarthy a little bit. So I don't know. That's just kind of where I'm at. I'm not saying that that the Saints have to, but I think it would be interesting. Do we have a first down yet? Yeah, they have a first down on the play where Jawan fumbled. So they do got a first down, but not the way you want it. I was watching this game. Going to convince the Saints brass they need Lemon, Tate, or Tyson. Yeah, I think, I'd be cool with any of those receivers. I know everyone's getting on Carnell Tate's case because he dropped that pass over the middle of the field against Miami, but I still think he's a really good player. I think all three are really good players. I think Jordan Tyson, obviously, it's a little tough. Let's see. They're going to show us the coverage here. Alante, yeah. So Alante just doesn't stick with Drake London. And then that's what happens. I think if he runs through, Drake's probably still going to end up getting open, but at least it doesn't look as bad as it looks right there because that's just inexcusable stuff. So here comes the Saints on the kickoff return. They're going to get to the 25, around the 26 to start this drive. Let's see if they get some first downs here. Yes. No, absolutely no communication there. 42 yards in the first quarter. I'm getting nervous. I wouldn't yet. I mean, think about it. If it was 42 yards for every quarter, you'd be in great shape. So I wouldn't worry about your Kirk Cousins thing yet. There was a comment that I wanted to get to. Forgot where you guys put it, though. Something about Carr, and I missed it. Let's see if I can find it. Apologize for this, guys. Be great to get some comp for Carr. I agree. Saints go with play action on first down. They're going to throw it underneath to Audric Estime, and he's going to pick up about 8 yards. So that's probably the best start to drive they've had so far today. We'll see if this can continue. Yeah, I think if they get any comp for Derek Carr, that'd be great. There's no question about it. And I think for New Orleans, too, what you want on this drive more than anything, I think you want to see some sustained success down the field. I think that's what you need. I'm not saying that Shuck's got to be pushing this ball 30 yards down the field, but 5 yards here, 7 yards there, get your way down the field a little bit, And I get it, right? It's not a good offensive personnel. I know Giants fans have been trying to convince us that the Saints have a stacked roster, but I mean, left guard, right guard, not a good combo. I mean, your starting center's been out pretty much the entire year. No Olave today. Not a lot to work with. So 2nd and 2. Taysom Hill in motion. Shuck under center. He's going to take the snap. They're going to hand it off to Estime. He's going to bounce to the outside, and he's going to probably lose a yard or get to the line. It's going to be 3rd and short coming up. No Olave. Yeah, no Olave today. He had a blood clot found in his lungs. Thankfully, it was detected early. He's supposed to make a full recovery. But, yeah, no Olave today. Just a really brutal roster that they got right now. You look around. No disrespect. Kevin Austin Jr.'s made some plays, but that's like a preseason player that you expect. 3rd and 2. Looks like Atlanta's showing pressure. We'll see if they come out of that or they actually bring it. Looks like they're just sending 4. Shuck's going deep. He wants Jawan. Oh, what a catch from Jawan Johnson. Holy shit. Jawan Johnson with the catch of the season. Holy crap. One-handed catch. I don't know if that makes up for the fumble, but that is a sick catch from Jawan Johnson. And that ball doesn't even move when he hits the ground. Holy shit. What a catch. Saints are now in business at the Falcons 38. Shuck takes a snap. He's looking to the left. He's going to throw this one underneath to Dante Pettis, and Dante Pettis is going to lose a yard. 2nd and 11 coming up. Man, what a goddamn catch. Where the hell did that come from, Jawan? God damn. Jawan having a career year. Maybe the Jawan Johnson roller coaster experience is what we need. Maybe we just have to embrace it. You know, a fumble here. One-handed Odell Beckham looking catch on the sideline there. Mike saying I've never seen a more up and down player than Jawan. I agree, man. I agree. 2nd and 11 for New Orleans. See if they get the offense rolling in the right direction. They go with play action. Shuck's looking to the left. He's now working over the middle of the field, and Shuck is going to get sacked, and it is going to be 3rd and way long there. And this will probably bring us to the second quarter with Atlanta up 7-0. Brutal play right there. Shuck was trying to work his way back to the middle of the field, was looking left, and by then Atlanta's pass rush got there. Atlanta sent 5. And they made the play. Really good job. Actually, 4. K. Nellis was really a QB spy on that one. That Atlanta defensive line, I'll give them credit. They do their job. But I think that one's on Shuck. I think you just got to get the ball out a little bit there. Because now 3rd and 18. I know he's been great on 3rd down. He's been excellent on 3rd and long. But it's a little bit more tough, you know? Jawan's the baddie that cheats on you, but you can't quit. Look, it's funny because, like, we're so frustrated with Jawan Johnson, and he's going to finish this season with really good numbers. It's fucking absurd. Like, Jawan's going to finish the year with 900-plus receiving yards probably, you know? Just insane. And at this point, I don't really want to pick on Jawan and sound cynical about it, but, like, I don't know how the hell he does it. I don't know how the hell we get there, how it gets to this point where that catch was probably the best catch a tight end's made all season. And that fumble that he had was probably the dumbest fumble a tight end's had all season. And yet all that is the same player that does it. It's fascinating. I'm baffled by him. He's truly an enigma. Does Pettis actually get paid, or is he just donating his time? No way we pay him anything. Oh man. It's a great question. I think that he's definitely getting paid. Should he? I don't know, but we need to give our defense some rest so we keep Bijan in check. Yeah, I mean, look, this drive, since it's going to get to the second quarter and you get that extended break, they're going to get their rest. I think at this point you're just trying to get points up. Whether it is, so what is it? 3rd and 18 from Atlanta's, I believe 46 is the marker there. Okay, from Atlanta's 46. So I think if you're New Orleans, that I think you just maybe pick up 10 yards here, and then Charlie Smith's got a makeable field goal. I mean, quite frankly, if you gain 5 yards here in a dome, Charlie Smith can make it from 58. But Mike say let Charlie Smith kick a 70-yarder. I'm for it too. I'm for it. Maybe at the end of the half though, like right here, maybe let's see if they get some yardage here. But I think at this point now you just want to get points on this drive. But you've definitely at least given your defense somewhat of a rest here. Guys talking about, yeah. Oh, yeah. So Sunday Ticket. I mean, that's how I do all of my games. Is through Sunday Ticket. It's gotten better. I would say the experience on YouTube for Sunday Ticket is way better than what it used to be. I think it used to be DirecTV maybe. And it just always used to really freeze up on me. So now I think the process is much better. I think it's only going to keep getting better because obviously the NFL just keeps tending towards streaming. So we're out of the first quarter break. Second quarter about to begin. 3rd and 18 from Atlanta's 46. Atlanta looks like they're sending 4. They're going to motion Taysom Hill. Chuck's going to look to the left. He's going to step up, and there's going to be a flag. So this play is blown dead. False start. Now the Saints got to pick up yardage here because it's going to be 3rd and 23. And I know Mike wants to see a 70-yard field goal. I don't know if they're going to let Charlie Smith attempt one. But good God, I mean, this drive's going backwards in a hurry. Like the Sunday Ticket multi-view. Me too. I think it's good. My only knock on, not even really a knock, I wish they did like team packages for people. I think you pay for it all, right? I think you pay for every game. But I'm sure there's a lot of fans that don't give a crap about any team other than theirs, you know? So now the Saints are back in their territory after these the sack and the penalty. 3rd and 23. Shuck's going to step up. He's going to throw underneath to Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is going to roll down inside the 40. So it's not going to get enough for the first down. Nowhere close. But the Saints are going to pick up enough yardage to attempt a field goal here for Charlie Smith. So I'm not saying that it all gets forgiven. But if Charlie Smith makes a field goal here, at least you get some points on the board. You don't feel like it was a completely wasted drive. We'll see if Charlie Smith gets the job done here. 11-14 on the season. He showed his leg off in Tennessee. There's no question about that. In a dome today, this is from 56. No give me. I know these kickers keep getting better year by year. The snap, the hold is up. The kick is on its way. It is no good. It is wide left. So I said if you get points, all is somewhat forgiven. Well, nothing forgiven there. Charlie Smith misses the field goal, and the Saints are going to go empty on that possession. 7-0 Atlanta still. Yeah, honestly, for me, man, I'm with you. I'll gladly, I'll be out. And so let's say the Saints play at noon. Let's say it's now 4. Let's say it's like 4 now, 4 p.m. If I'm out and there's a game on, I'll put it on my phone on YouTube, no problem. So I think that is the luxury of getting all the games. But I know, let's say I can speak for, I know my dad. My dad will only want to watch his team, and that's it. Like, I don't want to watch anyone else. And I get it, you know? I think we'll get there eventually. But yeah, it's really tough there by Charlie Smith. 11-15 now on the season. He's clearly got the leg. I think there is an accuracy issue with Saints kickers, though. And I'm curious, is it the Saints? Like, is it just bad luck? Because Will Lutz had that struggle towards the end, which is why they went with Groupie. Then Blake Groupie was playing pretty well. And now Blake Groupie is 8 of 8 with Indianapolis. So I'm sorry, he made one today. So he's 9 of 9 with Indianapolis. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it's a holding problem. I would like to think that the Saints will address special teams in the offseason. I think it is the silent killer for this team. I think just like Michael Scott would call Toby the silent killer in the annex, I'm telling you, special teams is the silent killer for the Saints. They've had bad punts. They've had bad field goal attempts. It's pretty rough. It really is. And you know what? It doesn't get talked about enough league-wide, but it is a problem, you know? It's Toby's fault for sure. It is a legitimate issue, man. I think it is coaching as well. I think and I'll tell you why I think it's coaching. Okay. So maybe it sounds like I'm giving Charlie Smith a pass, but I'll explain it in a second. I just mentioned Blake Groupie. Blake Groupie was terrible this year. He's 9 for 9 in Indianapolis. So if the player leaves and gets better, don't you feel like it's probably on coaching? At least that's what I think. So that's where I'm at. And it's your boy X probably says it the best. Like, look at what they do. They don't get explosive kickoffs, okay? Punting is an issue. We don't talk about it enough. Kai Kroger had like a 17-yard punt last week against Tennessee. That was a shit show. And now today they had the punt block. Falcons go with a run here with Bijan, and he is going to lose yardage. Saints run defense clearly came in. Intent was, hey, let's slow down Bijan. So far, they've done an excellent job. But yeah, look, guys, I think it's got to be a special teams coaching issue that has to get addressed. There's no question about it. So second down coming up. I'm really impressed with the way the Saints run defense is played. Really impressive stuff. 2nd and 13. Kirk Cousins in the shotgun. They got 3 receivers lined up to the left. Now Drake London's motioning to right. Now they're going to go with a run to Bijan. He's going to cut back. Oh, that's a filthy cut from Bijan. And Bijan's going to pick up a good chunk of yardage there to make it 3rd and a little bit more manageable for Atlanta. man, you think you got him bottled up and he just makes one or two good plays. Tipton had good returns. Tipton did. And honestly, Tipton had that really good stretch. And then we haven't really seen him at all. I know now it's injuries, but even prior to the injuries, because they needed to elevate him offensively, then that took away from his return duty. And then that made Dante Pettis the return man. And Dante Pettis, watching him return kicks is, man, it is a whole mess there. 3rd and 5 for Atlanta from their own 49. Bijan lined up next to Kirk Cousins. They got 2 receivers left. They got a receiver and Kyle Pitts lined up to the right. Kirk Cousins takes a snap. He's looking over the middle. He's got Drake London wide open, and it's going to be a first down for Atlanta. Saints might want to cover Drake London. Now, he's a great player, and so far he's dicing them up. Need you, Darian Price or Zachariah Branch. Look, they definitely can't say it enough. I talk about that position. We're going to talk about it multiple times. If they want to and ultimately decide, hey, let's double dip on, running backs, get Price and then maybe go get yourself a free agent running back, let's do it. Like, I think the Saints offense, they need some juice. So Atlanta's got 1st and 10 from the Saints 37. They got Algier and Bijan lined up in this formation. Drake London's in motion. They're going to hand this one off to Bijan. He's going to run to the right. He's going to pick up a lot of yards, make a filthy cutback, run to the left, pick up first down. And they're getting close to the red zone here. This is the problem with the Saints' slow starts. And I think that is probably the one area, more than special teams, more than anything I've mentioned, that needs to get improved. As much as we've loved the Saints making these comebacks, it's not sustainable year to year. So the comeback against Miami, the comeback against Carolina, the comeback against Tennessee, these are fun. They're fun for us to watch. And I will go back and rewatch them all the time. It's a win. It's a comeback win. As a fan, you enjoy the hell out of it. It will not be sustainable year to year, though. So while it's working this year, you're going to play better teams. You can't be going down 10-0, 14-0, and expect to win games consistently. Atlanta's going with a throw on 1st and 10. He's going to drop this one underneath to Algier. He's going to get about 3 yards before he's chased out of bounds by Danny Stutzman. So 2nd down coming up. Do you guys think we should invest in drafting running back? Absolutely, Brandon. Absolutely. I have no doubt about it. I don't think the Saints running back room is loaded enough to feel comfortable. Like, let's say they signed someone. They could sign Breece Hall, who's a great player. And I would still say, hey, I'd draft a running back. I mean, Devin Neal looked pretty good, but he got hurt. Kendra Miller, as the president of the Kendra Miller fan club, I could tell you, we got to shut it down, 2nd and 7, another throw. Kirk Cousins goes underneath, and this one's incomplete. He was looking for Drake London. Looks like the throw was a little bit to the left, and good coverage by the Saints there. So 3rd down coming up. Kendrickson goes. And look, I will, until I'm blue in the face, scream and yell about how talented I do think Kendra Miller is. Because I think Kendra Miller is a really good, talented player. But it doesn't mean anything if you can't stay on the field. And the reality is we have the data. For 3 years, he hasn't been able to stay on the field. And I feel for him, but that's just where we're at. 3rd and 7 here for Atlanta. Back in the shotgun. I'm going to imagine we're going for a 3rd straight pass here. They have Chase Young and Granderson lined up, so maybe they can make some noise. Chase Young on the left side, getting pressure. And, I think Chase Young forced the strip. And it is going to be picked up by Alontae Taylor. They're saying incomplete. I don't know about that one, man. I would love to see that again. I thought Chase Young knocked that one out. I'd love to get a replay of that. They're going to say incomplete, which would force the 4th down, but let's see. Chase Young's going out, and I don't know, man. I mean, why are we blowing the whistle here? That hand looks empty. I think you got to review that. Can't stress enough how great Chase Young's been. But yeah, this has to be reviewed. I mean, I think that's a fumble, man. I think that's a fumble. And I'm okay. If the Saints lose this challenge, you live with it. You got to challenge it. I think that's a fumble. That's as much of a fumble as it gets. What a play. It's a great play regardless. Okay. If that gets overturned, it's a fumble. It is a point-saving play by Chase Young. It's saving points regardless, right? Because if it's not a touchdown, now it's just settling for a field goal attempt. But if it's not a field goal, that's another extra point. I see it as it was 4 points. It's incomplete. That's how much you save. You get the additional 3 if it ends up being a fumble. And man, Atlanta, you know what's crazy is had Atlanta even scooped that up, don't matter. These moron refs are blowing the whistle like it's dead, which I can't stress enough. You absolutely need as officials to be full-time employees, because the fact that they don't understand that they should let these plays go, because if it is a turnover, you automatically review turnovers anyway. You got these coaches throwing challenge flags for plays that they shouldn't have to challenge in the first place. Okay? That bothers the shit out of me. And now let's talk about it. Alontae Taylor fell on the football, so it's fine. But had Alontae Taylor picked that ball up and run, it would have been 7-7, and it wouldn't have mattered because they blew the whistle, so it wouldn't have counted. And I think that happened to the Saints when they played the Rams one year. I think Goff had a fumble, if I'm not mistaken, and Cam picked it up and ran it the other way, and they blew the play dead. But because they blew the play dead, I believe they only gave the fumble to Cam, and he didn't get the touchdown. So officiating in the NFL is so bad. I say this every week. I don't think the NFL is really going to care, because if the NFL cared, they would have done something after the no call in the NFC Championship game. And what has it been, like 6 years? Well, honestly, how many years? It's been 6 years now since then, maybe more. I've lost track of time since then. And they haven't fixed shit. I think officiating just gets worse. You know, we talked about Carolina yesterday. You guys mentioned Carolina yesterday. I mean, that OPI was a joke. The backwards pass that they said went out of bounds, that was a joke. Come on. So I just think we see a lot of nonsense from these officials. And I think the biggest issue, and the NFL creates this problem, is these refs don't have any accountability. Like, if a ref makes a mistake, and they're gonna say this call stands, which is freaking egregious, man. I'm sorry. I mean, Kirk Cousins, he don't have any control of that ball. And Mike Pereira could come on and tell us that, hey, I think it's the right call. No fucking shot. I'm sorry. There's no shot. But back on the refs, which grinds my gears. If a player messes up, you know they're speaking to the media, okay? If a coach messes up, you know they're speaking to the media. The refs can absolutely decide who wins a game, and there's no accountability. They don't get fined. They don't do intense press conferences. They don't get suspended. Comes the Falcons kick. That one's up, and it's good. So, you know, I said Chase Young play saved them 4 points. It really should have been 7 points, and unfortunately, Atlanta jumps out to 10-0 lead here. It's just really frustrating, you know? And again, it's so early in this game. That call might not decide it, right? But it's just a frustrating call. I don't know. To me, if that's not a fumble, then I don't know what is. That said, the Saints usually been playing their best football when they go down double digits. So let's see what Tyler Shuck has in store for this Saints offense. Because clearly that's been his expertise so far. But man, frustrating stuff. And I apologize, guys. I know I sound like I'm just really just complaining a shit ton. But I just don't get it. I don't get it. I guess I never will. Did exactly what you thought they would. Yeah. I mean, it's frustrating. Sean gonna smack the Falcons. We'll see, man. Need 7 here, and I don't mean Taysom Hill. Panthers fans happy. You know what cracks me up? And I think I could say this because the Saints aren't in this spot, you know? It cracks me up that these NFC South teams, you know, they only want to do is shit on the Saints or shit on the Falcons, whatever. And now these two teams are just sitting here watching on Sunday, hoping to God someone does their work for them because they couldn't do it themselves. Because that's the reality, you know? So a lot of people are going to say, if had the Saints played Shuck week 1, maybe they win the division. All right, maybe. Can I give you a counterpoint? I don't think the Saints are going to do anything in the playoffs, so you get a better draft pick, and more importantly, they didn't rush the development of Tyler Shuck, and I think the development of Tyler Shuck matters way more than getting a playoff game where they probably would get slapped around by the Rams or 49ers, so I'm fine with that. I'm fine with not having to play that game and just focusing on development, but it is hilarious that these two teams right now, I think, are playing way better football than the two teams that are going to one of the two teams that are going to represent the NFC South. And, you know, it is an indictment on the South, and it's a bad look, but the reality is Tampa Bay's got no excuse. I mean, they lost, what was it, 7 out of 9 at one point? I mean, they couldn't finish the job. And I'm sorry, Carolina, you got 2 games down the stretch. You just had to win one of them, and they couldn't do it. And I think they deserve blame for that too. I'd argue 3 out of 4. They lost that Saints game as well. So here comes New Orleans from their own 35. So decent field position to start this one. Chuck's going to take the snap. It's blown dead. Jesus Christ. False start for New Orleans. This is a rough first half, to say the least. Having MVS right now sure would be nice. Remind me again why we didn't keep him. I mean, you're not wrong, but let's be honest, Fred. Even if they had MVS, we're rolling out the same offense again. And I will say this about New Orleans. Every year, us fans sit here and we go, all right, let's make sure they don't get back to where it's like week 18 and it's Kevin Austin Jr. and Dante Pettis and all these guys, and we are right back in the same spot. Difference is their quarterback is finding ways to win, which is insane, but that stuff has to stop. 1st and 15 for New Orleans. Chuck's going to hand this one off to Audric Estime. He is going to pick up about 2 yards. So 2nd and long coming up for New Orleans. Baker said he was a fan of us today. I guess so. Yeah. And Calvin Banks is down. So as if this day couldn't get any worse, let's hope this is not a serious injury, man. Let's hope this is not a serious. If this is like one where he's out for the rest of the game, it's fine. The offseason starts tomorrow, but let's hope this is not a serious injury because Calvin Banks is the future for this team when it comes to that offensive line. And man, that would be tough. So I don't care if the Saints lose today, but if they lose Calvin Banks for a while, that'd be tough. I really hope that is something that's not too major. And at least if it's like ankle, I mean, if it's ankle, you could figure it out. If it's something different, I don't know, man. Looks like they said that I'm seeing reports that he's heading to the tent. So that would be a good sign if he's at least on his own power getting there. But hopefully he's all right. I mean, you guys know, we all know how highly we think of him. I think they're going to need you out there, Rob. I really do. I mean, this is about the worst possible scenario for this team. The only good thing, like I said, offseason starts tomorrow. But, oh, man, this is just... All right, let's pull up the depth chart. Let's pull up the depth chart real quick. The Saints right now, if Calvin Banks does not play, they'll be without their starting left tackle, their starting left guard from week 1, starting center, starting wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. All out. So, and quite frankly, I could argue wide receiver 5 if we want to throw in Brandon Cooks and Rashid Shaheed when they're not in the picture, right? Because it was Olave as your 1, Shaheed as your 2, they're gone. I think Cooks was their 3 for some stupid reason. He's gone. Mason Tipton's gone right now. Vele's gone. So there's your 5. I mean, running back, no Alvin. So there was your running back 1. Your running back 2 was Kendra Miller. He's not there. Devin Neal was your running back 3. He's not there. I mean, good God. Everyone's hurt on this team. And some teams have the depth. The Saints don't have the depth, to be quite honest. And they're just, it's practice squad player after practice squad player. And now we just got to hope that Calvin Banks is all right. He is walking off the field. I mean, that to me at least is a somewhat good sign. I mean, at this point, I'm not playing, even if he could play the rest of the game, I'm not. But so he got clipped. He got clipped by Jawan on that one. Hopefully it's not severe. But good God, I mean, this is just brutal what they got out there. They got to move Richards over to left tackle now. So 2nd and 12. Saints O-line is an absolute mess. They keep backing up. The only real healthy guy in there is maybe Ruiz. And good God, that's tough. And what do we know, guys? Another penalty. False start yet again. I mean, this is rough. This is absolutely rough. And the biggest winners right now are the Panthers, because this would get them in the playoffs. And then the second biggest winner of this result right now would be the New York Giants, because remember, Tyler Shuck is working with the greatest show on turf, Rams offense, and he's only got 0 points right now. So those are the 2 biggest winners through the first 25 minutes of this game. I mean, look at this offensive line out here. This is why you can't talk football with some people. If anyone else played with these offensive players, you'd be like, man, just don't get killed out there. And us Saints fans, at least I know, I'm still hoping and expecting for them to win because of the way their quarterbacks played. 2nd and 17. Shuck's going to throw this one deep. It is caught by Kevin Austin Jr. Big chunk of yardage there. So 3rd and manageable coming up. Does our draft position change today, win or lose? I can pull that up in a second for you. All right, so right now, a win would depend what happens in Kansas City and Cincinnati. The Saints can't go lower than 11, I believe. 11 would be the lowest they would pick. A loss does nothing. They would still stay at 8. Third down. Shuck's looking underneath. He's going to throw this one out. He's going to pump fake, pull this one back. He's got Aldrich Estime wide open. Estime's going to catch it at the 42 and get chopped down. Really nice play. Really, really good improvising right there by Shuck. Looked like he wanted Taysom Hill, pulls that ball back, rolls to the left, and makes a play. Really nice job there from Tyler Shuck. That's a great job because that's covered up right there. And also, let me just give him some credit. Aldrich Estime he's a fine player. You know, I talk about this offense and how they don't have talent, but he's a fine player. Shuck's now going to unload this one, and it is, oh, Jesus Christ, man. You know, this is the experience. This is the Jawan Johnson experience. That's not an easy catch to make because I think he can't see it and his line of sight's deflected, but that thing hits him right in the fucking chest. I mean, wow, that is. Oh my God, man. Jawan is something. I know it got tipped. So your vision, I mean, the ball's just thrown off. Jawan cracks me up though. 2nd and 10. They're throwing it to Pettis. He's got a blocker. He's going to cut to the right, and Pettis is going to pick up a first down. He's going to make another cut. He is down at the 20. What a play from Dante Pettis. And I almost got PTSD because last week he did this and then he fumbled it. But I'll say this about Dante Pettis because you guys just said he confuses you, and I couldn't agree more. He looks good in space. But I think it's just like not every play can be fielded as if it's a punt. Saints are going to go with a toss now here. Evan Hull's going to cut this one upfield, and Evan Hull with a really nice run. 8 yards, 2nd and short coming up. So let's see if the Saints can get points on this drive. It's been a really good drive right now, and to think that at one point they were facing a 2nd and, 2nd and 20? Pretty good drive. So 2nd and 2 coming up. Saints are really moving the ball well here. I think you got to go for 7. I'm going to get greedy here. Saints at the Atlanta 12. Pettis in motion. Got Hull lined up at running back yet again. Shuck takes a snap. He's looking to the right. He is under pressure, and he is going to be sacked. It's going to be about a loss of 2. Not what you want to see there. So according to reports, Calvin Banks is getting carted back to the locker room. Hopefully, it's like a really, really bad ankle sprain or whatever. That's the reason why. Hopefully, it's something more severe than that. We'll see what happens there. Saints offense is a lot of friendly fire on this drive, by the way. I mean, Evan Hull right there should get friendly fire. Calvin Banks got hit by friendly fire. 3rd and 5 for New Orleans. They're at the Atlanta 16. Shuck takes a snap. Atlanta's bringing pressure. Shuck's rolling to the left. He's going to take off. He gets to the 10. He's going to slide. I think they might mark him short. Let's see. And they will. They're going to mark him just about a half yard short, I think. Here's where I'm at. There is a flag on the play. We'll see who it's on. Watch it be called a hold on New Orleans. And it's holding, and it is on New Orleans. All right, so this backs up anyway. All right, so you guys meant 2 things. You guys mentioned Shuck sliding early. I'm at a crossroads with it. I don't want him getting hurt, so I'm cool with him sliding early. There's probably a got to know you're down in distance, maybe diving forward a little bit more, because in that moment, it doesn't matter anyway. It gets called back, so honestly, it's a good thing he slid early because it's going to get called back from the hold from Dylan Radins anyway. But I am cool with him not getting hurt. You know, that said, maybe sometimes you do a forward dive. I know Brock Purdy's a big guy, a bigger, I don't say quarterback, a big believer in sliding head first sometimes, you know, diving head first. 3rd and 16. Shuck's going to throw to the left. He's got, oh man, that's got to be a flag. And it is going to be a flag. All right. He had Dante Pettis, and Dante Pettis was getting absolutely, for lack of a better word, harassed on the left sideline. And this should be PI, and that should set up the Saints with a 1st and goal from the 1. So yeah, you do got to find an in between. You don't want Shuck to get absolutely blasted, and you also want him to pick up first down. So I don't know what the perfect solution is, but if he's going to go towards the caution side, that's fine, because if we're going to dunk on Jackson Dart for playing like a doofus sometimes, then I guess I don't want Shuck getting hurt, but guess it goes both ways sometimes. Saints got to get a touchdown here, obviously. I'm stating the no-brainer here. Jesus, I mean, Dante Pettis getting absolute molested over there. I don't know how Atlanta's DBs complaining about the flag. 1st and goal from the 1. Pettis is in motion. They got Estime at running back. They're going to go with Estime on a run. He's going to cut to the left. He's going to cut again and get chopped down at the 2. 2nd and goal coming up. What is Giants fans beef with us? The betting odds came out and they just went rabid. They went rabid. I don't know what. It's like Shuck was the favorite for like a day betting odds wise because I think Tet McMillan's probably the favorite again. And they freaked out. I don't know if they have future betting odds in Dart maybe. I don't know what it is. But they're like, how can you think that he's better than Dart, blah, blah, blah. And then it became a whole thing. So, yeah. 2nd and goal. Saints are going empty. I am quite confused by this. I am not going to lie. Very confused by this. Now they're going to bring Estime back in at running back. They're going to go with a run, and it is just, I think, bottled up right at the half-yard line. So 3rd and goal coming up. Let's see what we got here. Honestly, I know I say no more Taysom, but maybe that would have worked. Now on 3rd and goal, I'm probably not. I think I'd rather just keep it with Shuck, but let's see where he goes. They're trying to sell us that Atlanta fans are actually pumped up about this game, but I'll believe it when I see it. 3rd and goal, Shuck's under center. They got Taysom Hill at running back. They are going to go with play action. Oh, that looked like a Rodgers-esque fake. Shuck's rolling to the right, and he is going to get it himself. Touchdown, Tyler Shuck. And the Saints are right back in this ball game. That looked like an Aaron Rodgers level fake from Tyler Shuck. That was a beautiful ball fake right there on the QB sneak. That was nice stuff. Great call, by the way. I love that call. You have a quarterback athletic enough to make that play on the outside, and that's a great one. So Saints are right back in this. And it is now 10-7 after the Charlie Smith extra point. Could have been 10-10 had he made it before. So, hey, they're back in this game, man. Back in this game. Where do they find these announcers for Saints games? Who do they have today? They got Chris Myers. Let me pull it up. Fox early. Chris Myers and Mark Schlereth. I'll tell you this about Mark Schlereth, though. That dude's he's been hyping up Tyler Shuck for about 2 months now. Because he did the Carolina game the first time around. And, yeah, he's been a big believer. So I got to give him credit right there. But really nice drive from New Orleans. Really nice drive. Put yourself in a position now where you can maybe go, let's see, how many times? 4.5. If your defense gets a stop here, maybe get yourself a 2-minute drive, go into halftime tied up, and then you get the ball to start the second half. So I'll say this. We talk about the lack of weapons, and this is why Mickey's going to be in a pretzel, because he is going to look at this team and see that this quarterback without weapons is just finding ways to get it done. And he's going to fight the urge to be like, well, what if we do get him this? What if we get him that? And there's give and take. Like, they should absolutely improve this roster. On the other hand, like, how much do you want to improve it in terms of future money, and how much cap spending do you want to leak into 2027 when they're going to have a lot of money? So I think it's a give and take. But look, man, your quarterback's 10 of 13 for 129 with a touchdown. I mean, what the hell? The guy he's good. He's really, really good. And Mason, I can't answer that. I don't know why that was. It's always an adventure, a Saints drive. But it is just at this point, whoever gets injured, your QB finds a way. He just finds a way. And there is something to be said about that. And I do think that Mickey Loomis does deserve the opportunity to go be a little bit, not balls to the walls, but be a little aggressive in terms of addressing the roster, but you got to do it in moderation. Because I think if you're the Saints, again, I can't speak for everyone, and I don't know if this is how it's going to go, but I think this is the trajectory you're on. You've had a really nice season now. This was a waste of a season, and then all of a sudden it became a season where you feel like you found your quarterback. And now the game's got fun. And you've won 4 in a row, and who knows, maybe you win 5 in a row after today. We'll see. Next year, I think, is all about winning the division. getting a playoff game, maybe winning a playoff game. I'm not going to be sitting here screaming Super Bowl next year. But if next year is the win the division playoff season, that's how you make and if you take the right steps and you don't try to cheat it like the Washington Commanders did, that's how you eventually, by year 3, that's how you get the Super Bowl roster. So I just want them to be a little bit cautious. I do want them to improve the roster, but I want them to be cautious in doing so. But they need to address running backs and offensive guards. Falcons are going to get tripped up around their 30. So we'll see the Saints defense can make a stop here. But yeah, I couldn't agree more. They got to build through the draft. And if there are signings to make, I would prefer that as opposed to trading for someone's, I don't want to say garbage because that's not fair, but trading for a vet that someone's trying to get rid of. Like the Commanders I'm going to keep mentioning them, right? The 49ers wanted to get rid of Deebo Samuel, and they were willing to take him. And I think Deebo's a fine player. But, man, I mean, he's towards the tail end of his career. And you don't want to trade for guys like that, and they have contracts that are expensive. For example, A.J. Brown's going to be available. A lot of teams are going to want him. I don't think the Saints should be in the market there. Falcons are going to go with a check down underneath. It looked like it was a screen, actually. That's one of those where I think you just got to drop the pass. Because now, I talked about it. If you're New Orleans defense, you can get off the field quickly here. You might be able to double dip between the end of the first half, beginning of the second half. 2nd and 17. Shout out to Chris Myers, by the way. Chris Myers, I actually liked Chris Myers doing less play-by-play and more of his reporting and just like work as a journalist. But he's obviously a legend. There's not a lot of commentators I don't like. And the ones that I don't like, I'm pretty honest with you guys about. Like, I don't like Romo. Don't like Brady. 2nd and 17 here. Kirk Cousins is going deep. And this one, did he get that second foot down? We'll see. They're saying incomplete. If that's the case, I don't know how Darnell Mooney F's that up. I think he was out of bounds, though. I think as a wide receiver, you got to know where you are. So Mooney's, let's see. I mean, that left foot's completely, both feet are out of bounds. I mean, I think that's just, as a receiver, you got to be a little bit more cautious there. 3rd and 17. Saints have a really great chance to have about a minute 3 and out here if they can make a play. Cousins takes a snap. He's looking. He's going underneath. He's going to get this one to Sills, who's going to get knocked out short of the line of gain. So Saints defense did exactly what they were supposed to do. Exactly what they're supposed to do. So now you're putting the ball back in your offense's hands, and you're hoping to get something done here. Really good stuff there from New Orleans. Really, really good stuff. And now I think it's all about making sure you put yourself in a spot where get 3. If you want to get greedy, get 7. You got enough time to get 7. I mean, you're going to get this ball back with about 3 minutes, and you're going to have all 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. So more than enough time for New Orleans. Here comes the punt. It is going to be fielded at their own 5. Jesus Christ. He's going to bounce this one to the left. Pettis is looking for a blocker. He's going to cut back and get slung down at the 19. So not a bad return by Pettis, but it really is always an adventure with Dante Pettis. It really is. We love him for it, but it is quite the adventure. So here comes this Saints offense with a really, really good chance to go out there and tie the game, maybe take the lead. I think the defense has been great, guys. I know that they've given up 10, but it's not equal, right? The punt block spotted them 7, essentially. And yeah, I think the defense has been pretty good. If we look at the yardage right now, Kirk Cousins got 56 passing yards. Bijan's 8 of 24. And let's be real, most of that came on a 12-yard run. It's just, you guys keep mentioning special teams. Special teams has been a problem right now for the Saints. They had a missed field goal. They had the block punt. That's the reason they're losing right now. But they've had the better quarterback today. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, Fred, I keep mentioning this. I don't know why he keeps doing it, but he is insistent on taking this one out from his own 5. Saints are going to go run here with Estime. He's going to pick up about 4 yards, maybe 3. Let's call it 2nd and 7. And I don't know why it hasn't been coached out of Pettis or why there's not accountability in that regard. But yeah, the man every punt return has been an absolute adventure from him this season. And don't get me wrong, some of it is funny as hell. But when these games really, really start to matter, we're not going to want to see that. So 2nd and 7. Shuck's going to take the snap. He's looking to the left. He's going to throw this one, and it is going to be bobbled, and They're saying incomplete. Torrey's saying that he caught it. Let's see the replay here. He definitely dropped it on the initial. And oh shit, that's a catch. Again, these freaking refs, man. That is absolutely a catch. Oh my God, man. And yet again, now Kellen Moore's got to throw his second challenge flag at this point. At this point, these refs have to figure this shit out. I know it's week 18 and some of these guys aren't going to call playoff games, so they'll get to go home after they cashed out for 18 weeks of pay. What are we doing here? What are we doing? This is the second time these refs have botched this. This one's probably more egregious. This one's more egregious in my opinion, because I've seen the ones where, all right, is it a fumble? Is it not? I've seen that a million times. There's a ref looking at him right there. Jesus Christ. And honestly, I think the Falcons defender jumped over him. So now, had you not blown that, that's probably a first down. He picks it up and runs with it. And instead, you're probably looking at this drive being wasted. So quite frustrating. And it really is annoying. And my problem isn't about, fighting over the 3 yards. Because now you're out of challenges, so it's probably best to not challenge this one. The bigger issue is that we're blowing the play dead because I think AJ Terrell jumps over him. Let's see if he even touches him. I think he sees. Let's see. I don't see contact there. So I think that's my frustration, and you can't change that, right? The only thing you're going to challenge now is whether or not it was a freaking 3-yard pass. Just really frustrating, man. It's not worth. I'll just say the juice is not worth the squeeze on that challenge. But man, refs just crack me. They crack me up, and they really don't crack me up. Like I say, they crack me up, but I'm not really laughing. Like they're just fighting for 3 yards at this point. But yeah, Samori Toure, I think I watched him at Nebraska. I can't remember. I want to say I watched him at Nebraska, but I don't remember if there was 2 Toures at Nebraska. But I mean, this is just bottom of the barrel receivers that you're playing with at this point. Yeah, I agree with you guys. I see Yahtzee saying it. There is zero accountability for refs. Everyone else, accountability. Refs, not a shot in hell. And it's quite frustrating, So this one's going to go into the 2-minute warning. 3rd and 4 for New Orleans. I think, obviously getting a first down here would be huge. You kind of really put Atlanta at your mercy. You're going to call the shots, obviously get it. Obviously, if you don't get the first down here, Atlanta's back in play to have a drive of their own. But, it's just, it's a crucial down coming up. No doubt about it. I know in a game like this where you still got a half of football left, you probably don't see this play and think to yourself, okay, this is the one that could decide it. But I definitely feel like this is a crucial down coming up for this drive and maybe the rest of the half. Obviously definitely the rest of the half, but maybe the rest of the game, excuse me. The Saints are able to continue this drive and get themselves in a spot where, again, take 3 out of it maybe, you'll be in great hands. Oh boy, watch a Giants fan with the play Dart just made. Let me see what Dart just did. I mean, I'll probably get it CC'd to me at this point because Giants fans just are nut jobs. See, 3rd and 16, avoids the rush. Oh my God. All right, look, it is a sweet play. Like it's a sweet shovel, but I thought he was going to make the majority of the play. It's a sweet shovel, and also to get away from the defenders. Sick play. But you can't reason with Giants fans anyway, because Giants fans are the same type of fans that genuinely believe that, we needed a tank and this and that. How many years are the Giants going to be picking top 5 until they realize that they're just a really, really bad franchise right now? So, again, sweet play. But I saw the yardage. I think it was like a 30-something yard touchdown or 29-yard touchdown. And I thought, okay, we're going to see something crazy here. It was a really nice move, but I would argue that the run after the catch was also pretty sleek as well. So, I would say nice play, and then really, really good, skills after the catch from Bellinger. Who's had a weird career. Rookie year was good, then hasn't done much for the Giants after that, and now maybe have a little Week 18 resurgence. I love Dart. He's fun. Social media is the worst. See, that's the funny thing. So someone tweeted, if he was in the Saints, because I quote tweeted it, and that's my fault. I should not give these idiots engagement. But my take on Twitter is this: the minute that Elon Musk decided, hey, let's start giving you money for engagement, you have these idiot fans with these takes that make no sense, but it's going to get engagement. They're going to get money out of it. And this is what we become. I'll get back to it in a sec, but you're absolutely right. Social media has ruined so many things. Both franchises should just appreciate their rookie quarterbacks instead of become a war. 3rd and 4, Saints are going underneath. What a catch from Kevin Austin Jr. That ball's behind him, and yet still makes the play. That's probably, I'd argue that might be Shuck's worst throw of the game so far. It's fine. Still gets the first down. Now, like I said, the Falcons are at your mercy if you're the Saints. But, man, that's a nice catch from Kevin Austin Jr. Shuck's going to drop back. He's throwing this one deep. He is just out the reach. I believe it was of Ronnie Bell. Oh, man, that looked like it was a dime, and it's just short of Ronnie Bell's hands. Let's see this one right again. Oh, my goodness. That would have been huge for the Saints. 2nd and 10 coming up with a better receiver, a faster receiver. It's probably going for a game. No knock on Ronnie Bell. I mean, Ronnie Bell's not a good player, but no knock on Ronnie Bell. It's just, with an Olave or see, maybe a better player next year in the offseason they get. Probably getting the gain there. 2nd and down, they're going underneath. It is caught yet again. This one is Kevin Austin Jr., his 2nd catch of the drive. I thought that was a good throw. I'm not knocking Shuck. I think, quite frankly, he's throwing to guys that he's not working with. And I think that also is what makes this so impressive is you're not having these reps with these guys every single time. So 3rd and 6, I think New Orleans would be wise to kind of let this play clock die a little bit. But they might go for it here. Let's see. And no, they're wisely going to let the play clock run a little bit. So it's under a minute now. Shuck takes a snap. Atlanta's sending 5. Shuck's throwing this one over the middle of the field, and that one looks like it was either deflected or just an inaccurate throw. And it is 4th down. Saints are going to punt. So they definitely chewed up time on this possession, but you don't get the result you want, which is a little bit frustrating. So Saints are going to have to settle most likely for 7 on this half unless the defense ends up forcing a turnover somehow here. And I think if you're Atlanta, you probably just run this into the half. So Kroger's going to punt it. It is going to bounce at the 20, taking Atlanta back. Oh, actually, it's going to roll back into the Saints' favor. Look like it's going to take an Atlanta bounce for a sec, but it's going to get brought down at the 18. Shuck wins this game with these cats. He truly did something. He's already done something, in my opinion. I think at this point, we are just, you got to be kidding me. Cam Little hit a 67-yard field goal. What the hell are they feeding this dude? Sorry, I'm just baffled that the Jaguars kicker is just insane. Yeah, look, Shuck's already shown me something, and I can't stress enough. Like, you're throwing to guys where there isn't that timing. There aren't those reps. He's not working with Ronnie Bell. He's not working with Samori Toure. He's not working with Kevin Austin Jr. He is. So there is a little chemistry there. But you're rotating guys in where it's like, where are the reps? They really aren't there. And that's only going to build, not for players like that, but, his chemistry with Olave, which is apparent. That's only going to get better. Falcons are going to be aggressive out of this one. They're going 1st down with a throw. They're going underneath. Chase Young hits Kirk Cousins, but he gets it off to Bijan, who runs out of bounds. 2nd down coming up. Kind of surprised Atlanta's going aggressive there. But yeah, I just think, to me, win or lose this game, it won't change how I feel about Chuck. If he wins, all right. I mean, yeah, well, maybe we'll dial up the hype a little bit more. But I'm already all in for next season and feeling good about this quarterback. He's done way too much not to feel that way. 2nd down, Kirk Cousins is going underneath, and it is caught by Kyle Pitts. So it is going to be a 1st down. Atlanta's going to burn a timeout here, I think. And We'll see. I mean, we got to hope for Kirk Cousins' turnover at this point. Who goes between Carolina or Tampa? As if this score holds, Carolina's in. The Saints win, then Tampa's in. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, I think just go down into the half, 10-7, and I'll feel good about it. Wouldn't mind if Atlanta makes a typical Atlanta mistake here. 10-7 from their own 29 seconds to go. Kirk Cousins in the shotgun. He's going to step up, and he is going to be tripped by Chase Young. I think he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, though. Really nice play from Chase Young, though. He just keeps making plays. So they're going to give him actually a yard or two. But Chase just makes plays, man. What a contract that was. I hate, I don't want to say I hate to say it, because screw all that. Me being right, I don't value as much as enjoying the Saints playing good football. I don't mind being right, but I'd rather be wrong and the Saints play good football. So many moves the Saints have made this offseason actually worked in their favor. Fred says, who gets the ball at half? The Saints will get the ball to start the second half. So I think that's why I thought that last drive would have been nice to kind of double dip. But Saints will start the second half with the ball, which is good. Saints have pushed a lot of right buttons. Chase Young contract, brilliant move. Drafting Tyler Shuck, brilliant move. Going Kelvin Banks to left tackle, I think is the right move. I know Saints fans don't want offensive tackles all the time, but it was the right move. So they've done a lot of good. Kirk Cousins going underneath. He's got Pitts. Pitts gets to the 45, and he is rocked by Stutzman, but not before he gets a good chunk of yardage there. 10 seconds on the clock. Kirk Cousins is going to have to spike this one, and he will. 8 seconds to go. Atlanta's going to be at their own 48. If you're New Orleans, honestly, at this point, you're just trying to watch the sidelines. But either way, it's going to have to be either super long field goal attempt or the clock's going to run out of this half. So far, I think defensively, they played this one fine. Chase Young's 26-year-old, crazy. I know, I think he's just entering his prime, which is why, like, when people mention Max Crosby, it's like, first off, I'm not touching Max Crosby in his contract. I'm not. The Saints are not at that point where they should do that. But Chase is getting paid a fraction of what Max is getting paid, and Chase Young might be ascending, and what if, as the Atlanta Falcons get a delay a game here, what if Chase Young's season that he just had, it is either a sign of things to come or is what the Saints are going to consistently be getting now from him? Because to your point, man, he is still super young. And this is not a pun for his last name. Like he really is genuinely, he's a freak of nature. I remember, like, it feels like we've watched him play football for 10 years almost, but still in his mid-20s, which is awesome. Second and 15. Atlanta needs a whole lot of help here to get in field goal range. Cousins is going to take the snap. He's looking towards the middle of the field. Now he's going to throw over the middle of the field. It is deflected. Falls incomplete. There is 1 second left. So if Atlanta wants to go Hail Mary to end the half, they could. I don't know if Kirk can reach from here. But hey, fuck it. Let's see. Are there any more unathletic looking people in all sports than kickers? Oh, yeah, probably not. Probably not. I will say there's some baseball players that don't look athletic at all, but obviously their hand-eye coordination is just so freaking elite. But I don't know if you guys remember, like, for MLB, Mo Vaughn, big dude. Even, God bless him, he was so fun to watch. Prince Fielder was a big dude and didn't look like a great athlete, and yet the man was. Falcons going to go with a run here to end the half. Bijan's not going to get much. So 10-7. Saints will be trailing at halftime. Pablo Sandoval. Yeah, Mike. I mean, I loved Pablo Sandoval. Panda was great. Pablo Sandoval in his prime with the Giants. Loved watching him play. But yeah, I'll probably still go kickers. Is it me or does Ronnie Bell look like Jono Barnes? I saw Jono just tweeting that before. I got to bother him later. I did see that when he took his helmet off, everyone was like, oh my God, it's him. One of my favorite Twitter accounts for Saints Twitter, man. He cracks me the hell up. All right, so halftime here. at Atlanta. Saints are trailing 10-7. I think it's pretty clear at this point what needs to be done for New Orleans. You just got to sustain a little bit more of their drives. I think defensively, the Saints have done a fine job. I think that, yes, there is 10 points and a half by Atlanta, but if you look at the actual numbers of it all, the Saints defense, outside of the block punt that ended up spotting them a touchdown, they have not given up a ton defensively. They've bottled up Bijan Robinson for the most part, which I think is really impressive given where they were and how I felt they were coming into this game. Bijan was coming off a heater against the Rams. And yet Bijan right now, 9 carries for 28 yards. So you've done your job. You've held Kirk Cousins to 87 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. I'd say you've done your job in that department so far. I think right now, the biggest thing are two things. Special teams needs to be better. Special teams have been an abject disaster. You have the block punt. You have the missed field goal from Charlie Smith. Punt returns have been a little shaky with Dante Pettis. He's making us kind of, hold on to our seat when he's returning punts. So that hasn't been great. But offensively, it's been a problem. And with the offense, not only is it the time of possession in terms of it wasn't really till the second quarter that they started sustaining drives, the penalties, 5 penalties for 30 yards, a lot of false starts. That has to be wiped out. And overall, I think that the Saints definitely have more than enough to get this win, even though they don't have a great offensive skill players around Shuck right now. You're getting the ball to start the second half. You're only down 3. Your defensive line has really made Kirk Cousins uncomfortable. The formula is there for them to win this game. There's no question about it. I just think you got to stop with the false starts. You got to stop putting yourself in 2nd and 15, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 18. Like, that can't happen anymore. That's got to stop. And special teams can't be a disaster. If it continues to be a disaster, all right, we'll see what happens. It can get pretty rough. But I think right now, given how the Saints have played, to be down 3 is a good thing. And I think it's imperative that someone offensively is going to step up in the second half outside of your quarterback improvising all the time. So is it Juwan, who has had what a hell of a half? He had a fumble, had an Odell Beckham Jr. looking one-handed catch. He had a drop pass on the deflection. He's pretty much hit the full bingo card in the first half. Is it Juwan that steps up? Is it Kevin Austin Jr.? Is it Audric Estime who stepped up in the second half against the Titans? Someone has to make a play other than your quarterback. Maybe it's Taysom. I think there's no better way for Taysom to end his Saints career than to play Falcons killer one more time for the Saints. So someone's going to have to step up offensively. Special teams has to get better. Defensively, I think they could keep it the way it's going. Genuinely, outside of one coverage breakdown on Drake London, what have you seen defensively that concerns you? They've sacked Kirk Cousins twice. They've picked him off. They've held him under 100 passing yards, and Bijan's at 3 yards a carry. So defensively, he's checked off every box. Run game, good. You're getting pressure on Kirk Cousins. You're not giving up big plays in the passing game. So defensively, you're perfect right now, and I think Staley's going to make sure he makes the adjustments to make it even better if he can. Offensively, they have to be better. Got to stop the penalties, and special teams has to play better. So we'll go from there. D23 saying Shuck leading this offense with no help. Says everything we need to know. Falcons only leading this team by 3 points is pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really surprised at this point. Just to update, by the way, Kelvin Banks out for the rest of the game with an ankle injury. No surprise, but it's nice to get the update at least there. Never trust a player named after a grocery store. Kroger, LOL. Look, they need a new punter, man. No disrespect to Kai Kroger, but that man is not it. Only players really on offense is Estime and Johnson. Yeah, I mean, I know obviously they've gotten something out of Kevin Austin Jr., but they're going to need more. They're going to need more than just what they've gotten so far from him. They're going to need a little bit more from him. Maybe it's Dante Pettis in open space. He has made plays, but obviously when Dante Pettis has the ball, I'm shitting my pants because I think he might fumble at any moment. But they're going to need someone to step up. Shuck is the offensive rookie of the year. He got screwed out of the first all-team rookie spot. They better not screw him out of it. He's shown everything at QB1. I mean, I think he has. I think, like I said, guys, they could lose this game. It's not going to change how I feel about Tyler Shuck. I think Tyler Shuck's a really good quarterback and has proven to be a really good quarterback, and there's not much around him at all. And even if just Olave was playing today, it would be a totally different game right now. I mean, we go back to the throw to Ronnie Bell. Ronnie Bell is rolling down the sideline. He's not in where he's got to be in terms of speed-wise. If it's Olave, who's a faster runner, better route runner, it probably ends up being your 40, 50-yard gain. So it's tough. Score aside, Shuck is really outplaying Cousins. It's not particularly close. And Cousins got the full array right now. Pitts is healthy. London's healthy. Bijan's healthy. Algiers healthy. Darnell Mooney's healthy. So where there is Shuck, it's like Jawan. Okay. But let's be real. Jawan is also all over the freaking place. And then it's Kevin Austin Jr. as your wide receiver one, and Dante Pettis is your wide receiver 2. And that's just tough. What are your thoughts on Charlie Smith? I get the story's nice, but he's missing at least 1 kick per week. Yeah, I think that it's a discussion. I would say this about Charlie Smith. I think the Saints' bigger issue is their special teams coaching than it is the players. Now, you're not wrong. Charlie Smith missed a field goal against the Bucs. He missed a field goal against the Jets. He missed a field goal against the Titans. Now he's missed a field goal today against the Falcons. So in the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 6 games he's played, he's missed a field goal in 4 out of 6. So not good. But I just talked about it earlier today. Blake Grupe goes to Indianapolis, and now Blake Grupe can't miss kicks. And it just makes you wonder, is there a coaching issue here? And I think that's what it is. I've said it before, but Shuck's level of play does not change despite injury situation, game situation, level of talent. That's actually special. It is. It is. Like, he has not done anything different today, even without Olave. It's the same shit. Improvising. All right. First quarter offense is an absolute mess. But he makes plays. And you got to imagine the second half, he's going to try to make those game-changing plays that he makes against Tennessee, against the Jets. So we'll see what happens, but he's done his job. Thoughts on how the Saints can address interior O-line this offseason, trade, free agents, draft. We'll get deeper into the weeds starting tomorrow, really, because tomorrow the offseason starts for the Saints, unfortunately. But I think you're probably looking at free agency and maybe the draft. Probably not trade. But I would maybe say free agency. The problem with free agency is it's expensive. Like, to get an average guard, you overspend. So this last year's free agency, the Packers overspent to get Aaron Banks, and he's been a nightmare for them. Like, he's been a terrible player, and they spent a lot of money on him. So it's tough to say. Interior O-line's bad across the board, in my opinion. So it is a tough thing to address. You're probably looking at free agency, but it's tough. Thoughts on signing Christian Wilkins? I would probably pass. I just think, I don't know if the Saints want to add him in there and maybe F with the locker room. That would be my concern. Fred says, it seems like every season by the time we get to the last few weeks, we're playing with guys no one's ever heard of at wide receiver. Could you imagine if this game actually mattered? Need to invest in wide receivers. Yeah, I mean, I said it before, man. Couldn't agree with you more. This is the second straight year that, the Saints are at a point where it's Dante Pettis, it's Kevin Austin Jr., it's guys that, really should not be relied upon the way they are right now. And yet they are. And I think that's really frustrating. I think the Saints got to do a better job of addressing their offensive skill players. And that's not just wide receiver. I think this also goes to, running back, maybe tight end. Like, they got to get better across the board. So, I think that's a problem. Are we doing draft talk in the offseason? Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely do draft talk for sure, guys. I mean, do you want them to go at that position? I guess my question is, do you want them to go that position in the first round? Because that's what you're looking at. And if you want them to go DB, that's fine. I just don't know if they will. Really good prospect, though. I mean, I'll take LSU DBs till it doesn't work out. I'd keep taking them. Thoughts on potentially drafting Jeremiah Love? I mean, I like Jeremiah Love a lot. I don't know if the Saints will go first round running back, but I do like him a lot. The thing I like about Shuck, he doesn't just immediately go for a check down. He's really not scared to push the ball downfield. Yes, and it's within reason, though, right? It's not just forcing it for the sake of trying to force something downfield. It's looking to see if there is that big play downfield. And if there isn't, all right, then what can I do? What am I going to take? And you go from there. So he's done a really good job with that. Could be wrong, but Smith wasn't playing football. Actually, he seems to still be adapting pure to the game as a whole. I think that can count when we see those misses. It's possible, but, like I said, Enrique, I can't put it all on him when Blake Grupe stunk this year and has magically gotten better now with a different coaching staff and a different operation, whether it is the holder, whether it is just having a better special teams coach. So then the same stuff, we got to figure that out. All I've heard last week is Shuck and Olave Shuck had Olave and Johnson. He's doing the same thing with nobody. No disrespect to players on the field. Would like to see more 2 tight end sets. Yeah, I mean, I would like to see the Saints maybe get another tight end. and give you a little bit more versatility with Juwan and a better tight end too. But such is life. We hope for this, and we don't know if it ends up happening. Chuck is outplaying Kirk. I like how they came in Kirk's cousin. But yeah, no, he's outplaying Cousins big time. Chase Young has been incredible, and the refs severely messed up multiple calls. They did. I mean, the one to Toure picks it up, he can go, and he gets screwed there. I thought it was a fumble by Kirk Cousins. Ref said otherwise, so kind of annoying. But Chase Young's been good all season. Carl says, too bad Michael Thomas doesn't have any juice left. I know. I think MT would like playing with Shuck. Genuinely, I think. Let's be real. MT like playing with every Saints quarterback except for Derek Carr. If we're keeping it honest. Obviously, Drew is his guy, but imagine taking McBride from the Cardinals. Trey's a beast. Trey is an absolute beast. Thoughts on keeping Estime and Radins? I would keep Estime. Radins, I'm not sure. I'm not anti-keeping Radins, but what is the market? And kind of go from there. Is Vele a legitimate number 2? I don't think he should be your number 2 next year. I've been saying it, and I'll keep saying it. My goal is to get another wide receiver, so Vele's the 3. And if Vele is the 3, I'd feel really good about this roster. If he's the 2, I just don't know if he's a 2. I know he could be a 3. We saw that stretch, and the way he played for the Saints was brilliant. Do I think he could be the 2? He was playing like one. I just don't know if it's consistent enough, and he hasn't shown it yet in his NFL career. Granted, he's only 2 seasons in, so I would like to see the Saints get someone else. Like, hypothetically, if they went into next offseason and it's Olave, Carnell Tate, and Vele, wouldn't you feel a little bit better about this wide receiver room as opposed to Olave, Vele, and whoever else they sign? I don't think the wide receiver market's good for free agents, though. You guys can go check it. I think it's terrible, personally. I think Mike Evans is like the best wide receiver free agent, and let's be real, Mike Evans is getting up there in age, man. What about Jalen Polk? So that's the thing, right? You took a shot on Jalen Polk, and you took a shot on Trey Palmer. Polk, I think they like more, hence why they traded for him. I'm not against Polk suddenly becoming a playmaker for them. I think he could be. I think that you bought low on a second-round pick. I think that's smart. I think it'd be foolish, though, if they don't address this wide receiver room because of that. Like, hey, we got Vele coming back from injury. We got Jalen Polk. We got Trey Palmer. Like, I think that would be foolish. But to answer your question, Jalen Polk 2 years ago was a really, really good prospect. So do I think he magically has gone from good prospect to can't play in the league? I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's worth the gamble, though. I mean, they barely gave up anything for him. Would you be opposed to getting Pickens? No, I wouldn't be opposed to, but I don't think they can. I think Dallas is going to tag him. I think Dallas is going to do their usual shit. Jerry Jones loves to be in the conversation for storyline of the offseason. Did it last year with Micah. 2 years before that, it was with Dak. And now Pickens is the number 1 free agent probably across the board. And he knows he can control the narratives. Nothing controls the narratives more than slapping him with a franchise tag. Because you could sign him long-term. You could trade him. You could keep him on the tag. And so I don't think Pickens is going to go anywhere. I do think if Pickens were to hit the open market, the bidding war for him would be nuts because I think a lot of contenders would be going after Pickens. Like, whether or not he'd sign there, I don't know. But like Buffalo needs a receiver. Baltimore needs a receiver. Kansas City probably needs a better receiver. So is what it is. We're coming out here in the second half. This ball is going to go out of bounds. So Saints are going to get excellent field position to start this drive. And it's what you love to see. So let me get into more comments here before we get into this first play of the second half. Saints are going to start from the 40, which is awesome. I'd like to see them get a pass rusher in the first round. I don't blame you, but I don't know if they will. But I'm not against it. Call me crazy, but does Shuck remind you of what Drew Brees would look like if he was 6'5"? I don't know. Drew's my favorite athlete of all time, so it's tough for me to say if there's going to be another Drew, but we'll see. Olave, Vele, Polk, Palmer, and drafting a wide receiver at 8 doesn't look like a bad wide receiver core to me. It does not. It does not. Out of loyalty to Ladd, I cannot approve of Mike Evans' bitch ass in the black and gold. I mean, I don't think he would fit the timeline anyway, Don't get me wrong. He actually would make sense of a receiver for Shuck because Shuck wants to throw that thing deep, but he don't fit the timeline at all. So here comes the Saints, 1st and 10 from their own 40. They're going to go with a little pitch toss here to Pettis. Pettis is going to look towards the left. He's going to bounce this one outside, and he's going to pick up about a yard. Not much going there. But yeah, I feel you guys. I think I think I'm at the point where I probably wouldn't. I mean, not at the point. I definitely don't think Mike Evans fits the timeline anyway. But the idea of him playing in the Saints would be so weird. I think he's a Buck for life anyway. I would be weird seeing him in any other jersey. 2nd and 9 for New Orleans from their own 41. Chuck takes a snap, looking over the middle of the field. There is pressure. He's going to go underneath to Estime. Estime is going to cut back, make a man miss, make another man miss, jump cut inside, and get to the 48. Really nice play by Audric Estime. The way the defenses look this year, we should focus on the offense. I don't disagree. Don't disagree at all. Should definitely add a little bit more pieces to the defense, though. Maybe get a couple guys that Brandon said we think fits his vision better. Will we actually keep Palmer for next season, though? I don't know. That's a good question. I think Camp's going to kind of decide that. 3rd and 1. They're going to go for the run underneath, and they are going to pick up the first down. It was close, but they're going to pick it up, thankfully. So good job there by New Orleans to get themselves in that spot. So fresh set of downs. Would love to see this team come out and get points really early. So 1st and 10 from the Atlanta 49, 13 minutes ago in this second half. They're going to go under center for Shuck here. He's going to hand it off to Estime. He's going to cut up field, gain about 3. So it'll be 2nd and 7. Maybe we don't need to address running back. We have Audric Estime. Look, funny enough, like I do think he's played well enough that you could say that he should be on the roster next season, or at least competing for a spot on the roster like that. I think he's played that well. So absolutely, he's earned his keep. Quite honestly, I think I'd rather have him than Kendra at this point, just because of availability, man. Kendra hasn't been healthy. They're going to go with play action here. Taysom's rolling to the right. Shuck's looking underneath. I think Shuck should just take off here. Let's see what he does. And he is going to see that can't happen. They're going to call a penalty, thankfully. I think they're going to call a horse collar here. But I think if you're Tyler Shuck, that cannot become a potential sack. Let's see. They might say there's no flag here for a horse collar, but we'll see what they call here. But if you're Shuck, that ball's either got to be out, or you got to take off and run, Yep. So no penalty. It's 3rd down. That's on Shuck. And I think that's important, right? To be able to be fair in these spots. He can't and should not be in that position where he's gonna lose yards on that play. Just shouldn't happen, Would it be nice to get the call? Absolutely. But I think he just should have taken off there. And I get it. Like, he really wants to throw first. He really wants to be a throw first guy. And he is. But right there, I think you just probably either live to see another down or just take off and run. He's got the speed to do it. So 3rd and 13, this drive has really gotten crushed by that play. Atlanta's sending 4. Shuck's rolling to the right. And now he is sacked again. So this is the one knock here is he's got to get rid of the ball. You don't want him taking hits, man. And I do think that is the one knock on Shuck. He's taking a lot of sacks. That has to stop, because at some point it's not sustainable. Now, O-line's, it's brutal right now, but I think he's just got to get the ball out here. There's enough time for him to get rid of the ball, in my opinion. He just doesn't end up doing it there. So Saints drive is going to stall. It's going to stay 10-7. And yeah, quite frustrating. No question about it. Falcons DC looks like he doesn't hold the door open for old ladies. I think Olbrick's kid's the one that prank called Shador on draft day. Falcons are going to take the punt from their own 10, going to cut up field, get to the 20, to the 25, and brought down by a committee of Saints players there. That looked like a legitimate rookie, like a rookie drive, I would say. That looked like a rookie drive. So we'll see if the defense can do their thing. Hate the sacks, but we'll take it over forcing it and giving interceptions. Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. It's the first play though, the first negative play of this drive, that's on him though, because he could just take off or could just throw it away. No reason to get yourselves in harm's way. So I'm finally catching up, by the way, on that Emmanuel Wilson 19-yard loss. That has to be the funniest play of the season, right? It has to be the funniest play. He quite literally cut back and just completely ran the wrong way. That is a hilarious play, man. On the play earlier, looking at the replay, they were standing there, just got to throw it away. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The other one before, I think is the sack that he just took. It happens. You don't want it to happen, but it felt like a routine sack, where the one before, I think he can absolutely do that. So this is what's cracking me up. So this is one Giants fan. He tweets about Shuck all the time. He posts the Jackson Dart touchdown. He goes, people will say this isn't the rookie of the year. Every other comment is Giants fans talking about Tyler Shuck. They're not even talking about their own quarterback. They're talking about Tyler Shuck. It's like a mental illness, I swear. I know, man. Like, I'm going to keep saying it. The minute Twitter decided to start paying people, the app went downhill. Side note, if the Giants win today, I think they could fall to the 7th pick, which would be crazy because a week ago they had the number 1 pick. Quite insane. These games feel like just waiting for the opposing quarterback to make a mistake. It kind of does. I still think the Saints, look, there's 11 minutes left in the third quarter. There's still so much game left. I still think they have time. I still think they have a lot of time. I'm not worried about it. I still feel like they're in a good spot. Defensively, they played really well. So if the defense keeps it up, I think it's only a matter of time before the offense breaks through, but we'll see. As first down for the Falcons ends up being a 2-yard run for Bijan. Give Shuck a pass considering he's operating with the definition of a skeleton crew. Well, honestly, Fred, he's been fine. Like first half was a good half of football. First drive got killed by the fumble. And then they had the missed field goal. So that's 3 points right there. With context, the first half was good. Second half, obviously that first drive was not good, but still a whole other half of football left for him to go out there and make some plays. And the way he's played over the last 6 weeks, you're going to expect him to do just that. So 2nd and 7 for Atlanta. Drake London's going to motion from left to right. Kirk Cousins is going to take the snap. They're going to go play action. Kirk Cousins unloading one deep. He's throwing it, and it is caught by Drake London. What a freaking catch by Drake London. What a catch by London. That is sometimes you just got to tip your cap, even if you don't got one on. I mean, I got one here, so we'll tip it. What a catch by Drake London. Because that is a sweet play. Quincy Riley's not even in the worst spot. I do think he loses the football there. So what a catch by London. I respect to him. Screw the Falcons, but Drake London's a hell of a ball player. And that was cool, man. They're going first down run to Bijan. He's cutting to the left, and he's getting nothing. Saints run defense has really come to play, man. They have come to play, and especially how great Bijan played last week. It's pretty awesome to see this run defense play up to this standard. Pretty awesome stuff. Second and 9. Cousins takes the snap. Chase Young's getting pressure, and Cousins is going to dirt this ball immediately. Oh, man, I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit. He saw Chase Young coming around the edge, and he decides, you know what? 3rd down will do. And that's the right play right there. Typical Saints-Falcons game. Let's hold them to 3. Yeah, I mean, look, Saints-Falcons games for the most part have always been more high-scoring than this, but it's always kind of felt like this, where it's going to be close. Cam really loves playing the Falcons. He's been on one all game. Yeah. That's why you draft skill in the first round. Falcons have a bunch of them. I mean, they do. They don't have wins to show for it as much, but they do, the skill players are there. I mean, Falcons got a good tight end, good running back, good wide receiver. 3rd and 9. Saints bringing pressure. Cousins going to throw this one, and it is incomplete. I thought that was a great chance for Kool-Aid to get a pick. Saints defense holds, though. Field goal coming up for the Falcons. So bend but don't break. You had the big, honestly, this drive's fine. You had the really big pass completion to Drake London. Great catch by Drake London. Other than that, Saints defense did their job. And even this is not going to be a give me of a field goal attempt. I know it's indoors, but this is not a give me. I mean, this is going to be about a 50-yard try here for Zane Gonzalez. It's going to be 51. Gonzalez is 1 for 1 on the day. See if he ends up making this one from long range. The kick is up, and it is good. And that one was hooking left a little bit, but it sneaks in. There is a flag. Would love for it to be a hold, but let's see. Looks like they're saying offsides. At least that's what Bradley Pinion's saying. We'll see. Worst possible thing for the Saints is if it ends up being a penalty on them and the Falcons are able to go for it. Let's see. All right, so Falcons are going to take the points. I'm going to be quite honest with you. You know, last game of the season, if I'm a Falcons fan, wouldn't you rather accept the penalty and go for it? Would have been 4th and 4? I don't know. I mean, who am I to judge? I hope they keep Raheem Morris for 10 more years, but a little surprised by that. I'm surprised they would settle for the field goal there. So 13-7, Atlanta leads. And now your offense is going to have to come out here and make a play. And let's be honest, hasn't been pretty, but I still got confidence in this unit. Still got a lot of confidence in this unit. I'm going to catch up on scores around the league real quick. Colts over Texans. It's interesting. Browns, Bengals. Good God. Browns have 17-12 lead, and they got 72 passing yards. That's crazy. Vikings up on the Packers. Giants are beating down the Cowboys, who have put in their backups. So Cowboys waving the white flag on the season. Titans getting absolutely slapped around by the Jaguars. What in the hell? I got confidence in Shuck. I don't know about the wide receivers. I mean, I think I get it. Yeah, I mean, I get it. You got to have confidence in Shuck and Kellen with the damage they've done of late. But yeah, I think the wide receiver play is abysmal. I just think you're due for a big play at some point from him. Whether it is, you know, a big pass play to Juwan, whether it is, who knows, maybe Kevin Austin Jr. makes a play here. Maybe it's a play to Dante Pettis. You feel like at some point they're due. And maybe it's this drive. But it's just funny. I mean, you look at this Saints roster right now. I mean, Ronnie Bell, you know, Toure, Traden Welch, Evan Holt. I mean, look at these are not ball players who you should be relying on. And yet, you know, this is where they're at. Giants dropping out of the top 5 is hilarious. I mean, it's hilarious because they very clearly were tanking today. I mean, Theo Johnson was ruled inactive because of an illness, and then he was spotted at the Knicks game sitting courtside. So it was like, well, was he actually inactive, or was this man just, you know, is he actually sick, or is this man just, you know, going out there and watching the Knicks because he got nothing better to do? So, you know, to win this game, if you're the Giants, you're going to drop out of the top 5 is kind of crazy. But anyway, we'll see what happens for the Saints here. Return's going to get to the 28, it looks like. So, a lot of work to do. Wish we'd have a live stream Baker squirming in his chair all day. Oh, man. He's probably, I mean, you got to imagine the Bucs are having like a watch party, right? Todd Bowles, probably same expression that he always has. I got to give him credit. They could be up 30 or down 30, and Todd Bowles is going to look the exact same way. It's like a 1,000-yard stare from him every single time. So let's see what happens on this drive. I mean, we're waiting for that big play to happen. We'll see. Second half, Audric Estime has been a thing. Maybe that'll continue for New Orleans. I think that's something they're going to need at this point. Wide receiver play, like I said, dire right now. Absolutely dire. So 1st and 10. Saints are going to go with a run, and Estime is going to pick up about 3 yards. Second down coming up. F. Baker, I don't want to lose, but the upside is if we do, that crybaby stays home. Yeah, I can't stand Baker Mayfield. I think I've probably said this a million times on this pod, but maybe my opinion would change if Baker was the Saints quarterback, but he's not, and I just find him awfully annoying. He's a good player. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. I do think he's a tad overrated, but look, either the Saints lose and the Bucs fans cry, or the Saints win and the Bucs fans have to sit there and thank the Saints. So it's kind of a win-win. But I would like to see the Saints beat the Falcons because screw Atlanta. 2nd and 7. It's a low snap. Chuck's going to take it. He's going to throw over to Kevin Austin Jr. Kevin Austin Jr. is going to make a big play, get over midfield. So Saints are in business. Really nice stuff there. Good throw, good catch, good yards after the catch as well. Nice gain right there from Kevin Austin Jr. He's been a man on a mission at times ever since his number's been called, and I got to give him credit for that. Saints are going to go there with a run for Estime, picks up about 1 yard. So Kevin Austin Jr. at 37 yards receiving. Second down coming up. Saints are going empty. See if Shuck can make a play. He's going underneath to Kevin Austin Jr., and that pass is bobbled. It looks like it was thrown behind him. We'll see if it was. I think that throw was behind him. And no. I mean, look, it is like a touch. Like technically it's a touch behind. Like he's not hitting him in stride, but it wasn't behind to the point where he should drop it. That should be a catch for Kevin Austin Jr. You're an NFL wide receiver. It's gotta be a catch. So 3rd and 10 now. Tough for New Orleans. This is not where you want to be. They're going to go with a quick throw to Taysom Hill, though. He's got blockers. Taysom Hill's going to cut up field, and he is going to get chopped down. I think you go for it. I think you go for it if you're New Orleans. It's just a 13-7 game. I think this is a full go if you're the Saints. I'm not thinking twice about this. I'm not thinking long field goal attempt. I know your kicker's got the leg, but it's the accuracy that you worry about. 4th and 4, last game of the season. I say go for it. 4th and 4 for the Saints from Atlanta's 43. Kevin Austin Jr. in motion. Shuck takes a snap. He's looking to the left. He's going to roll to the left. Now he's facing pressure. He's throwing on the run, and it is caught by Jawan Johnson, and that is an excellent throw and an excellent catch. And the Jawan Johnson roller coaster continues. What a freaking throw, man. I'm sorry, that's an insane throw. On the run, layers it over the corner. That's a big boy throw from Tyler Shuck, man. That is sick. It's got to be his throw of the game so far. Great catch by Jawan as well. Man, that was nice. Rolling to the left. Kind of falling away. Can't teach that, man. 1st and 10 from the Atlanta 29. Saints are going to go with a run now. Estime is going to get about 2 yards before he's knocked down. So 2nd down coming up. That's a crazy good throw, man. That's a crazy good throw. Jawan trying to change our opinions of him. Mike, look, I told you, man, I'm going to try to enjoy the roller coaster ride. So when Jawan drops a pass later, I'm going to try not to get as mad about it. Yeah, it was a crazy throw, man. I think that might have been one of his best throws so far. 2nd and 8. See if the Saints can keep this drive going. Going to motion Pettis. Chuck takes a snap. They're going to go with a run. Estime is going to bounce this one to the outside and then cut back inside and gain about 3 or 4 yards. So third and manageable. I'm going to be honest here. If I'm New Orleans, I think, assuming I don't lose yardage here, do I go for it on 4th down? I've already kind of pot committed to making this a very aggressive drive. It's worth a discussion. It's worth a discussion for sure. Hopefully they get the first so you don't even have to worry about having the discussion. But I think it's worth it. 3rd and 4. Shuck takes a snap. They're going with another run. Estime is going to be stood up after a yard. So in my opinion, I'm going for that run because I'm going for it on 4th down. That's just the way I view it. I don't know if that's how they're viewing it. But I think you go for that run on 3rd down because you're going for it on 4th down. So I wish granted. Look, it's not what I wanted. I wanted them to convert on 3rd down. But yeah, absolutely. Like, I think for me, you're pot committed. You went on it 4th down 3 or 4 plays ago. 4th down again. I think you got to go for it. And obviously the ball's going to stay in your quarterback's hands. Oh, he's got Taysom Hill open. He's going to hit Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's going to get inside the 10. So down to the 9. Saints convert yet again on 4th down, excuse me. Had that play all the way. Really good play call from Kellen Moore. I mean, this is probably the easiest conversion Shuck might have on 4th down in his career. I mean, just wide open. No one near him. Easy 1st down. So 1st and goal for New Orleans. They're going to go with a throw, and Shuck's going to throw this one out of bounds. This is exactly what I want to see. I'll take it. I'll take it. That's growth right there. I know we want to see this man rack up the completions, and Lord knows he does that in a major way. But I'll take the incompletion there. Keep the drive alive. I'll take it. Keeping the ball in Shuck's hands in these situations, growth for Kellen Moore. No more forced Taysom plays. Yeah, absolutely. You're seeing the growth for sure. And you're right, Xavier. Now you're seeing it. Like, we're seeing Taysom as a pass catcher than we are actually as a runner. So 2nd and goal, from the Atlanta 9. Shuck's going to go under center. They're going to go with a run to Estime. All right, interesting call. Estime's got a good head of steam. Is that a touchdown? I think that might be a touchdown. They're going to mark him short. They're going to mark him down at the 1. Wow, that would have been a heck of a run from Audric Estime. 3rd and goal now. Do you go back to him? Wow, I thought he got in. I thought he got in. I think you're probably going back to him. And he is bottled up short. 4th and goal. And I'm going to keep saying it. You went for it one time. You went for it 2 times. I think he's there. I want to watch this play again. And if he didn't, well, the Saints couldn't challenge it anyway, which is brutal. So let's see. Oh, fucking hell. I think he would have been in. No, I think he's down. No, he's down. Okay. All right. Now I'm cool with it. I thought it would have been brutal had Kellen Moore not had any challenges left, and then you're short. So 4th and goal from the 1. They're going for it. Juwan in motion. Shuck takes a snap. They're faking the run. There's pressure. Shuck's going to slip out of the pressure. He's going to throw across his body. Wide open for a touchdown, Kevin Austin Jr. They're rolling a flag, though. Is it OPI, though? Is the penalty on Atlanta or New Orleans? It looks like it's on New Orleans with the body language here. Oh, man. Yep, it's on New Orleans. And maybe the best play of the game so far gets wiped out. What a play that was from Shuck. And now it's all for nothing because of Dante Pettis. Let's see if it's the right call. Pettis runs his route. I mean, we're really benefiting the DB for flopping. I get it though. Like, can you make it a little bit more discreet, Dante Pettis? I mean, Jesus Christ, man. 4th and goal. You're probably just going field goal here now. Wow, man. That's brutal. That's so brutal. Oh, man. Well, it's the right call. If Dante Pettis could just be a little bit more discreet about things, that'd be nice. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. 6'5" quarterback, why not tush push? It doesn't work for the Saints. They've tried it. It has not worked. It has not worked. So here we are at 13-10. 13-10, Saints are trailing. Going to need their defense to get another stop. I still feel good about where they're at in this game. I just think it's more frustrating because that's a brilliant play from your quarterback, and unfortunately ends up getting wiped off the board because of a stupid penalty from Dante Pettis. All right, guys, so we're about to resume the third quarter in just a minute or two. We're going to take a quick break here on the Straight Up Saints podcast. I'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back to talk some Saints football. Going to take a quick break.
What's up, guys? We have an awesome deal going on with the Game Time app. Make sure you use code BOOT to get $20 off your first purchase. I personally always use the Game Time app. There's no late hidden fees. You get to view your seat from where you want to sit in the stadium or the arena. And I absolutely love using the Game Time app. So make sure there's a lot of games coming up with the Pelicans, a lot of games coming up with LSU, Tulane, you name it. Make sure you use Game Time app and use code BOOT to get $20 off your first purchase.
Scott McNair, injury attorneys, we fight for the win.
All right, Saints fans, back in here. Got a Falcons toss to Bijan Robinson. Gains about 2 yards. So 2 minutes left in this third quarter. I still can't believe that offensive pass interference wiped away that touchdown, man. 2nd and 8. Bijan, 12 carries for 34 yards. If you told me that was going to be the stat line coming into this game, I probably wouldn't have believed you. Probably wouldn't have believed you. Second and 8. They're going with a throw. Underneath, it's to Kyle Pitts. It's going to get the first down. Throw was a little bit behind. That's a good catch. Chase Young's a one-man wrecking crew. He is, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, hopefully he can make one more game-changing play. Got the fourth quarter coming up in about a minute here. Saints have been a fourth quarter team. There's no question about it. Definitely haven't been a first quarter team, that's for sure. And I think that's something that's got to change in the offseason for sure. Saints are going to have to find a way to get better at starting fast. Second week in a row, Pettis' cost was almost touchdown. Yeah, I mean, that's why you can't depend on those players. Pressure on the left side. Cam Jordan doesn't get there in time, though, and Drake London's going to get the first down. Man, that looked like Cam was a half second away from blowing up Kirk Cousins' spot. My God. Dante Pettis better not be on this team next year. Yeah, I can't. I'm not doing another. I mean, I am. Who am I kidding? I'll be here. But I don't want to talk about Dante Pettis this time next year. The wide receiver room has to improve, man. I mean, is it nice to see your quarterback elevate a bad team? Absolutely. But how about putting a better team around him, Falcons going to go with a run. Oh, what a great play from Carl Granderson. And that's going to end the third quarter. So at least the Saints going to end the third quarter on a high note. Carl Granderson with a huge play in the run game. And now Atlanta, coming out of the third quarter break, is going to be playing behind the chains. That's a really nice play from Carl Granderson. By the way, he's had a really good game. We talk all season really about Carl Granderson, him not playing up to his potential, because we all know he could be a much better player than this. And yet today, I think he's been outstanding. So shout out to him. Unfortunately, 1 quarter left for the Saints season. Very depressing. I'm genuinely sad. So 1 quarter left, Saints down 3. I still feel like they're going to pull it out, though. I still believe they're going to pull it out. We'll see, though. Either way, something's going to happen. Either the Saints beat the Falcons and we get to troll the Falcons, or Bucs fans are going to be crying like crazy for sure. So it'll be fun. Mike says, let him cry. Yeah, I don't know. I will say this about Bucs fans. I think Bucs fans desperately want there to be a rivalry with Saints fans, but I don't think Saints fans genuinely care that much about the Bucs. I could be wrong. I mean, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Saints fans care that much. I think Saints fans genuinely care about the Falcons, but that's it. Fred says these live streams will help get through the season for sure. I appreciate it a lot, Fred. I will say, hopefully this time next year, week 18 is like a tune-up to a playoff game. Because we have not done that yet. We have talked regular season football. We have not talked playoff football. And I know that's crazy. I've been podcasting for like a decade now. I mean, quite frankly. But, I don't think we've done these type of live streams for a playoff game at all. I don't think we've done post-game live streams that we've done on here for a playoff game. And I hope we get that opportunity next season. And I think we could. I really do. I'm not a believer in blowing smoke up fans ask. I think that's how you make, you set the bar so high and then things end up getting disappointing. And we'll talk about it, right? Because, the offseason starts tomorrow. There are so many reasons to believe that the Saints next year can compete for a division title. And I know, right? What does that get you, right? Are you better than the Seahawks or the Rams or the Niners or the Eagles? No. Or the Bears? No. But you got to get in, right? You got to crawl before you could walk, and you got to walk before you could run. And I think the Saints are in the crawling phase. I think next year they could be in the walking phase of getting to the playoffs. And who knows? And honestly, if you get in the dance and you feel like your quarterback's a bad dude, you can make some plays. Second and 14, for Atlanta. They're going to go underneath. Darnell Mooney's going to end up losing that forward progress that he gained, and it is going to be 3rd and long. Wow. So you guys just said Myles Garrett broke the record. Is that true? I mean, that's freaking awesome if he did. I've been hoping. That's awesome. That's really, really awesome. Respect to him, man. What an outstanding player he is. And that's why I don't believe in tanking, and I don't believe in fans that want to see these guys lose. These guys want to win, man. This is a tough season for Cleveland, and it's going to go down as a record-breaking season. So shout out to Myles. 3rd and 10 here for Atlanta from the Saints 39. Cousins under pressure. He's throwing this to the left side. He's got an open man, and it is going to be a first down. The coverage was soft there. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought they're playing way too off ball. I mean, yeah, Riley's about 10 yards off the ball there. Appreciate you, Mike. Really do. Oh, I didn't see. Let me pull it up. I forgot they're playing the Bengals. All right, have it right here. Let me watch it. Double duty right here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, he did. He did. I mean, let's be quite honest. Garrett was going to get him on there, and I think for Joe, that's kind of funny, man. Strahan broke it on the Favre one going down, and then Burrow that way. Algier run to the right. He's going to pick up about 5. So 2nd and 5 coming up. Got an absolute wedgie on that one. Oh, wow. If I just waited 2 seconds longer, I would have got it. Isn't it funny how history repeats itself, though? Like Strahan, that literally looks like the same one. I actually think the Favre one is worse. I think the Favre one is worse, to be honest. Good for Myles Garrett, though. That's such a cool moment. Great player. Honestly, if I said pound for pound, who's the best football player in the league, I would probably go him and Fred Warner. Just like pound for pound, best football players. Like those two are just special dudes. Myles would probably go first, but those guys are freaks. 2nd and 5. Falcons go with another run off the right side, and now he's brought down. Loss of yardage. Cam Jordan with the play. What a nice play from Cam Jordan. And it gets lost in the shuffle, right? Of is this going to be Cam Jordan's last game? Is this going to be DeMario's last game? DeMario already said he's playing. So whether or not he's with the Saints, we'll see. I hope he's back with the Saints, to be honest. I think, look, I want to see Stutzman play more, but like DeMario's still a really solid football player. So which game are you going to watch after this, Chris, if any? Well, I know I'm definitely going to watch a Sunday night game. Interested in that. Give me a sec. I'll get back to you. Let's see this 3rd down play develop here. 3rd and 6. Kirk Cousins takes a snap. There's pressure on the right side. Wide open man, though. Kyle Pitts wide open. Saints coverage has been awfully soft here. Awfully soft. All right, so let me get to your question. Definitely going to watch the Sunday night game. There's no question about that. I think I'm going to watch the which one was it? Pulling up the schedule here. Jets, Bills slightly just because the Bills' last home game in that stadium. So I just want to see what the fan atmosphere is. But that's probably maybe like a first quarter watch, and then I'll shut it off. Other one was maybe Cardinals, Rams, because the Cardinals are obviously, I don't want to say in full tank mode. They're just not good. And the Rams, they're trying to get that 5 seed. Oh, wow. Let's see if that's incomplete or not. I think that was complete, but man, Kirk Cousins is dealing. That's a great throw. That is a really great throw. Layers it right over Kool-Aid McKinstry, who got a finger on it. Man, that's crazy. Great catch by Kyle Pitts and good concentration. Yeah, I don't know what we're doing here. The coverage has been soft on this drive. And let's see if his foot was, I think his foot was out of bounds, no? Let's see. Left foot's in. Right foot is out. If he was a half a size smaller on his shoe, he'd be in. That should be out of bounds. And it is. So good job with the replay assist there. Why are the corners playing so far off? I have no idea. Prime Donald or Prime Garrett? I got to go Prime Aaron Donald. I think Aaron Donald's a freaking freak, man. Guy's sitting there training with knives in the offseason. I'll go Aaron Donald, but I mean, I don't think there's a wrong answer there. I think both guys are just, generational talents. 2nd and 10 for Atlanta. Let's see if the Saints can bend but don't break yet again. Kirk Cousins takes a snap. There is pressure. He's stepping up, and he is brought down. It's Carl Granderson again, man. What a game for Carl Granderson. Man, that is a really, really impressive game from Carl Granderson. I'm looking at my tweets. I said one more quarter left for the Saints season. Some Patriots fan responded, not like it was a special season. Y'all still don't have a quarterback. God, Patriots fans are something. Kirk's going to throw to the right side. Oh, Jesus, do not throw flag. Please do not throw flag. No flag. Okay, so Kool-Aid does the seatbelt strap. I'm fine with it, but like, good God, that secondary got cooked that whole drive. Wow, a lot of hand fighting. Yeah, definitely the right call. No flag there. I'm surprised Drake didn't come down with that. So Falcons are going to hold for a field goal. I think Saints defense continues to kind of do their job. Offense has got to come through here, man. Bird flapping penalties kind of Bird flapping Selly's kind of cringe. Yeah, I don't care for that. I do like the seatbelt one, though. I'm not going to lie. So 16-10, Falcons hit the chip shot field goal. And we'll see if the Saints can bounce back here. Did any of you guys see Blake Rupe try to make a tackle attempt in the Colts game? Crazy stuff. Dude absolutely got leveled. Kool-Aid doesn't need to celebrate there. Got cooked the whole drive. I mean, yeah, he was off ball the whole time and just rough. Jawan better not fumble. I mean, we're due. Jawan made a really good play last time around, so we are due for a Jawan mess up. I don't make the rules. I'm just saying. It's kind of where we're heading. Again, I don't want that to be the case, but I understand this is how these things. This is how this thing rolls sometimes, you know. So we'll see what happens on this drive. I think obviously you want to come away with points. Would love for the Saints to get a touchdown here and kind of redeem themselves of what happened last drive. But we'll see. Me as a Bucs fan, please Saints win. Oh, man. I saw the video of Baker watching and him stressing on the couch. His wife posted it. I thought that was kind of funny. Hopefully Staley's paying attention to go press man on third down and get the stop. Weird. Yeah, I mean, I don't get why they're playing off ball. We talked about it, Fred. I mean, they're giving him like 10 yards of space. When do Rookie of the Year get announced? It's going to get announced right at the NFL Honors Ceremony. I'll find the date for you right now. It's usually right before the Super Bowl. NFL Honors 2026 is Thursday, February 5th. So then the Super Bowl will be 3 days later, obviously, on the 8th. So February 5th. I mean, he's going to be a finalist. There's no question about it. He's played well enough. He's, obviously gets the added benefit of being a quarterback. So he'll be a finalist. Whether or not he wins it, who knows? Maybe this fourth quarter is going to decide it. Man, it's like really setting in that we got not even one quarter. We got 10:43 left in this season. It's quite depressing. Saints will win only if Bucs fans admit that Lattimore is Mike Evans' daddy. Yeah, I mean, he won the war. I don't care what anyone says. Saints with a return here up to the 25. I mean, they got Evan Hull returning kicks. This is where we're at right now. This is where we're at. What's his passing yards today? Are we talking about Shuck? Because if that's the case, he's at 200 right now. 19 of 26 for 200, and he's got a rushing touchdown. Who dat, Vol? Who dat? What's going on, man? Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Why'd he bring it out? I don't know, man. I stopped asking questions about Evan Hull and Dante Pettis and all these dudes. Saints are going empty on first down. Interesting. Shuck's looking to the right. He's looking for Kevin Austin Jr. Oh, my God. That's another drop. I mean, good coverage. So maybe I shouldn't call that a drop, but he's looking for Kevin Austin Jr. early. I mean, that's the problem. We've reached the point where Kevin Austin Jr. is his number one target. And quite frankly, it's like, well, who's he going to go to other than Juwan, obviously? But this is just not good. Probably I mean, I hope they don't run it on second down. At this point, I'm just throwing all three downs, but we'll see. 2nd and 10. They will go with a run. They're going to go to estimate. He's going to bounce it to the left side, and he's going to pick up about 5 yards. All right, so 3rd and manageable. What are Cousins' passing yards? Cousins is at 168. 168 yards for Cousins so far. So 3rd down. Man, they got to pick this up here. You do not want to go with an early, really, really early 3 and out. That'd just be brutal. Let's see. Kevin Austin Jr. is going to be in motion. Got Pettis on the right side. He's looking for Kevin Austin. He's throwing to Kevin Austin, and Kevin Austin Jr. fucking drops it again. What the hell is going on, man? Holy shit. Unreal, man. I mean, that's just one of those where I don't know what to say about that one. He's got the first down. It hits him right in the goddamn hands. I don't understand it. I wish I could. I wish I could understand it. And I know these are undrafted players, right? But that should not be a drop under any circumstance. And now the Saints have to rely on their defense yet again. What a mess, man. What a mess of a situation. Here comes the Falcons on the return. They're going to get this one out to the 23. So Saints defense, again, has to do something. I get it, man. No, I don't disagree. I just don't understand how that's a drop. Like, I'm trying to – I know it's Kevin Austin Jr., but I'm trying to get in my head, like, how the hell is that a drop? It just doesn't make any sense. Going to need a Chase Young strip sack touchdown? We might, man. That's my point, right? Like, there's no way. I'm sorry. The first drop, fine. I'll give it to him. It's contested coverage, whatever. It was going to be like a 2-yard game, whatever. That is a first down. He's wide the hell open. If he's worried about taking a hit or he's worried about catching the ball and what he's going to do after the catch, that's a problem. It's a problem. Let's catch the ball first and get the first down. And I get it, Carl, but like, it's hard. Like, that, the play call was there. I mean, it's a first down. Like, good God, he just got to catch that ball. So I don't know. I don't understand it. I know these are not good football players, but oh my God, like, hitting right in the goddamn hands. Dude, that Ronnie Bell pick that's going viral is cracking me up. It really looks like him. Saints are putting content creators out on the field. It's the easiest catch I've ever seen, and homie still dropped it. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there are drops, and some drops are natural. I mean, Kevin Austin Jr. has dropped the football like 4 times today, quite frankly. And to me, you'd think there's like accountability on like, all right, next time around it comes to him, he's not going to drop it. Oh, you bet your ass he's going to drop it. So just brutal stuff. Just really, really brutal stuff. I don't understand what's going on there with him. And it is what it is. But God, I to go 3 and out now because your receiver can't do the thing that he's getting paid to do is absurd. And again, we'll stress it in the offseason, but wide receiver room, you cannot go into the offseason thinking that we're fine with this. No, absolutely not. Because if we're back here next year and we're talking about Kevin Austin Jr. and Dante Pettis, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. Being calm right now because the Saints are playing house money at this point, right? This is not a team that is going anywhere for this season. They're 6-10, but like, good Lord. You can't have this guy on the team next year. That's all I know. So Saints are going to need their defense to step up yet again. I think they're up for the challenge, but we'll see. We'll see. I still can't believe that drive just went the way it was. Drop first down, run second down, drop third down. Yeesh. Falcons going with a run on first down. Bijan to the left side is going to cut back, and he's going to pick up 3 yards before he is absolutely rocked. He almost lost the ball there. Ends up holding on to it. Dude, this stupid tiebreaker for the NFC South is like freaking hilarious, man. The Panthers having the head-to-head, having the sweep on the Falcons is what would get them in if this score holds, which is just freaking hilarious. 2nd and 6. It's a pretty sick jacket that Saints fans got on. I'm not going to lie. Sills in motion. They're going play action. Kirk Cousins rolling to the right. He's looking to the right. He's throwing to Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is open. Stiff arm Sanker. Gets the first down. Rolls out to the 40 and gets to the 41 before he's slung down to the ground. First down Falcons. Now you got to start thinking about the clock too. And there's under 9 minutes left. Time is not on the same side. So the Falcons win this. The Panthers get in off of the tiebreakers. Yeah, so because a Falcons win would make 3 teams 8 and 9 in the NFC South, you would have to do the tiebreaker of what is the overall head-to-heads on those 3 teams. And even though the Panthers split the Bucs series, they swept the Falcons one, and the Bucs split the Panthers series and split the Falcons. So that's why we're at this spot right now. Falcons go and play action again. Chase Young's there, and Chase Young coming up with a huge sack on Kirk Cousins. That's a huge loss for Atlanta. Chase Young is that dude, man. You guys mentioned him in the chat before. You're talking about it. Makes the play. What a steal that contract was. Now, we said before, when you're Kirk Cousins before and you saw him getting pressure, you just dirt that ball. That's why. He's not trying to get absolutely rocked there. And awesome for Chase Young. He's at double-digit sacks. Falcons going underneath. Chase Young read that the whole way. What a freaking play. Back-to-back awesome plays from Chase Young. Man is on a heater. He is on a heater. They're going backwards because of Chase Young. He read that thing the whole way. He knew they were going underneath to Bijan. Sniffed out the screen. And now it's just one-on-one in space. And as good of an athlete that Bijan is, you're not shaking Chase Young in that spot. I mean, he's one of probably the rare defensive ends that's going to be able to stick with Bijan in that spot. What a play. What a play. Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with Nick. I think Chase Young absolutely is the best player on this team. They're getting pressure. He's throwing underneath, and that one is incomplete. So 4th and 23. Saints defense does their job in a major way, and the Saints will get the ball right back. That's what they keep doing, man. Wow, what a job by this Saints defense. They just keep on making plays. And the crazy thing for Chase Young is, by the way, he's at 10 sacks. Oh, that's awesome, man. Chase Young's fired up on the sideline with Brandon Staley. That's some cool shit. Honestly, they don't pay Chase enough, to be quite honest. The cool thing about Chase Young is got 10 sacks, and he's missed time this year. Here comes Dante Pettis making life misery. He keeps going backwards. I mean, can we get this dude off the team? Please. I mean, Dante Pettis lives to make this an absolute shit show. This is what he lives for. I mean, he just goes backwards and backwards every time. You just get him off the field. Every punt return with Dante Pettis is an experience. And I don't say that as a compliment. Experience of cardiac arrest. Yeah, I agree with you, Hell Mendoza. Like, what are we doing here? Just start fair catching it. I mean, he keeps going backwards. Not even going to let Pettis get me upset again at this point. Yeah, I know. And he's probably due for like a fumble at some point. Let's be real. Young deal looks like a bargain. It is a bargain. Big time. Chase is giving Shuck the opportunity to go give us a game-winning drive. Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, it's a great spot. By the way, this game, why I was so fascinated to watch this game from Tyler Shuck's perspective, obviously, other than the fact that it's his last game of his rookie season and the Saints are riding high right now, this is the second time that he's facing the Falcons defense. And you always want to see, like, well, what does the defense have in store for you? How do you adjust? I'd say so far he's playing pretty well. And obviously you got to take into context what the Saints are dealing with offensively. Kevin Austin Jr.'s got a case of the yips right now. Can't catch a goddamn pass. I mean, Kevin Austin Jr.'s got 4 catches on 9 targets. Honest to God, guys, how many of those targets were bad throws? How many of those were drops? He's got 2 drops on the last drive. He had a drop before on a ball that hit him in the hands. So maybe I'll give him 2 inaccurate throws. And even one of them, he stopped on his route for some reason instead of running through. It's a nightmare. Young getting 15 to 20 sacks next season. Man, that would be something. I'd take another 10, maybe 12. All right, so he's got 10 in, 12 games this year. So let's say he plays a full season next year. I mean, damn, with the way he's playing, he almost getting about a sack a game if you put the numbers. So let's give him another 3 or 4 sacks. You know, like I think he can be that type of guy. He's definitely always been, talent-wise, always been a double-digit sack type of player. I just think he's healthy, and B, it's all starting to click for him. This is by far the best season of his career. You guys, I forgot who you guys mentioned before. You talk about his age, though. He's a younger player, so he'll only get better, in my opinion. Saints going under center on first down. They're going to go with a run here. Estime is going to pick up, not a bad gain, about 5 yards on first down. After today, would you pay Grando for the next 3 to 4 years? No, I would not. I mean, Grando's already under contract, so I'm not trying to pay Grando more money. I think Carl Granderson is a solid football player. I just don't think he's a great football player, so I'd be cautious of that. Under 6 minutes to go in the Saints season. 16-10, they trail. 2nd and 5. See what they end up doing here. They're going to put Torrey in motion. They're going to go with another run to Estime. He's getting good run blocking, and Estime is going to get all the way down to about, let's see where they mark him. It looked like he's getting close to the 40. Pretty good drive so far for New Orleans. You're right, Ed. Estime is he's a second half, fourth quarter type of player. First down, they're going to go with another run to Estime. He's going to cut to the left. He's going to pick up a really big gain right there. What a play by Estime. Great run blocking on that one, too, and obviously made a nice cut. Estime is a player, man. I mean that as like an actual compliment. We talked about Kevin Austin Jr., Dante Pettis, and the mess-ups that they've had today. I mean, Estime's playing to a level where it's like, okay, like there could be a role for him, on this team next season. And maybe even it's not even a big one, but it's like, all right, that's depth that you value. It's not, depth that's just there for the sake of you need bodies because of injuries and camp and all that. It actually feels like a valuable football player. 2nd and 1. See if the Saints stick with the ground game. They're not going to go the ground game. They're going to go play action. Shuck's going to step up. He should just take off. A lot of space. Shuck's going to take off 35, 40, 35, 30, 25, and he slides down. Wow, that was quite an opening. The seas just parted there for Tyler Shuck. Really good job by Dylan Radins to come across and make the block to free open Tyler Shuck. And then Shuck just uses that speed. And we talk about him getting down. I'm cool with it, man. Like, why even risk an injury there? Saints are going to go with a run. Evan Hull's going to cut back and get inside the 20, just inside the 20. So red zone opportunity here officially for the Saints. They need 7. So field goal here does them no good. It's 4 down territory from here on out for New Orleans. 2nd and 7, doing a really good job of staying ahead on these plays. You're not putting yourself in 3rd and longs. Even these 2nd downs are all more manageable. This is growth from Kellen Moore, calling this game as if it's not just a meaningless game, calling it as if you're trying to win it, and he's done a good job. And honestly, it's tough for Kellen Moore, right? You're seeing your receivers drop passes, hit him in the hands. You go to the ground game, and I think it's fine with that. 2nd and 7, Saints are looking. He's going deep. Oh my goodness. I mean, Ronnie Bell, what are these routes that Ronnie Bell's running at this point? I'm sorry. I find it hard to believe that Shuck's missing him. I think Ronnie Bell is just an absolute slow player at this point. Oh my Jesus Christ. First off, he can't even catch his footing, and it goes right through his fucking hands anyway. I mean, oh my God, look at these players, man. That might be Von Bell. Von Bell's got a better chance of catching that pass than Ronnie Bell. That's for damn sure. So now it's 3rd and 7. Who do you go to on this down? Let's see. So money down. Maybe it's Juwan Johnson moment. Shuck's looking left, though. He's throwing it, and it's intercepted. And that's going to be a pick six, I think. And it is. Unless Shuck might beat him. So is Estime. And he's going to force him out of bounds. So, bound to happen. Good God. Run that play way too much. I would say that those are where we've had the Shuck interceptions. If I go back, I think Miami and LA on those plays. Very similar. So, they'll probably do it. And they'll probably end this game for the Saints. Woof, man. Frustrating. You feel like you got the chance there. The play before. Feel like you got the chance there, and man, Atlanta read that thing the whole way, and now Saints defense, you got one more miracle stop in you, but you're gonna have to force them backwards because even right here, they could gain no yards and they're in field goal range. They're gonna go with a run here to Algier. Algier is gonna pick up about 3 yards and get knocked down. But yeah, look, Shuck made a bad read. It's a bad read. It's a bad throw. Frustration is you feel like the play before you got a touchdown and Ronnie Bell's slipping out of his shoes. So it is what it is. I think ideally you say it, you know what? Not great. You get frustrated with it. Address your wide receivers in the offseason, though. But for today, obviously, this one looks done. It looks like Carolina's getting their way into the playoffs, but we'll see. Would have went to Jawan on that drive instead of Taco Bell. I mean, yeah, good God. Any type of Bell would have been better than Ronnie Bell, that's for sure. Falcons get nothing on second down, so Saints will use a timeout again here. Where's my paper bag? You know, in reality, it'll probably end up being a good thing for the Saints in terms of picking 8th as opposed to 11th. I would rather beat the Falcons. I've already stated my case on that. I'd rather see them win this game. But look, Ronnie Bell can't catch a cold. Kevin Austin Jr. can't catch a cold. And then your quarterback finally makes a rookie mistake against a defense that we just talked about it before. How do you play against a defense a second time around? I thought Shuck, for the most part, played well today. Made a horrible read there. And end up losing. And you're most likely, bearing a miracle, end up losing this game. So kind of predictable. And that's why you're in this spot. I will say, though, this is where third down here, they're going to go off the left with Algier, and he is not going to pick up the first down. So Falcons could kick a field goal here and make this a 2-possession game. And I think it's probably what they will do, but who the hell knows? Look, this Atlanta defense, they have really looked great at times this season. One of Drake May's toughest starts was against them. Not even one of, we just go back a week ago. Matt Stafford looked horrible against this Falcons defense. Like, this Falcons defense is good. You gave him way too many bites at the apple to make a play like that. And that's what happened. How do you think the division shapes up going into next year? The Saints have a chance to clear the field against these teams, but Kellen needs to do a lot to fix the offense. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing, right? I think offensively you need better playmakers and you need better guard play, because obviously Kellen Moore wants to run the football more, but it's hard to run the football consistently when you got no guard play. And then obviously receivers, right? I mean, that drive, they didn't even have a single freaking reception. You're just running it all the way because the drive before, your wide receivers are letting the ball hit them in the hands. So it is what it is. Here comes a field goal attempt. The field goal is up and it is good. So Falcons up 2 possessions now. Saints literally need a miracle to win this game. So tough time for the Saints. It is what it is. Not much more you could do there. I did see the groupie tackle. The groupie tackle was freaking hilarious, man. The groupie tackle kind of gave me life, if I'm being quite honest. So, all right, we'll see what the Saints do here. If I had to guess, we're probably looking at another Kevin Austin Jr. drop. Probably looking at maybe one more funky Jawan play. So who goes if Atlanta wins? Carolina's going to represent the NFC South. That's what's going to happen. Is there any quarterback who could somehow win this game? Yeah, I don't think they're going to win this one, man. 19-10 with 19-10. This one's pretty much over. I will say, you guys mentioned before, look, that Charlie Smith kick, it is, it does matter. And look, in hindsight, this actually, I don't want to be this is a good loss. I don't believe in any loss being a good loss. You get swept by the Falcons. It sucks. It stings. It absolutely does. And honestly, if you're Atlanta, it's got to be frustrating because I said it all day. These two teams have played better than the two teams that were eligible to represent the NFC South in the playoffs, which is just the NFC South in a nutshell. I think that the Bucs have not played better than these two teams, and the Panthers have not, in my opinion. But look, I look at this game. If this is the game that keeps Raheem Morris's job, I'll take it. We got to look for the little wins. Obviously, getting swept sucks. So, and at this point, you got 2:54 left. We're probably due for a couple more ridiculously bad plays from this Saints wide receiver room. You're obviously not running the football anymore. You're just throwing from here on out. Maybe we'll get one or two more wild plays from Shuck, and then you kind of call it a day for this game. Shuck takes a snap. He's looking right. He's throwing this one, and it is out of the reach of Juwan Johnson. Incomplete. We have to score fast. Yeah, no question about it. No question about it. Penix looked like shit all year, so they draft another quarterback. I don't know. I don't think so. The interesting spot there. First of all, they don't even have their first-round pick, so did this lose Shuck offense rookie of the year? I would say so. I think the NFL, and it's okay, it's very reactionary in terms of like, okay, so the 4-game win streak got him in the race. Losing this game and obviously not having a great game will get him out of it. So I think it's going to go to Tet, but we'll see. I would imagine Tet McMillan will win the award. 2nd and 10 for the Saints. Chuck takes a shotgun snap. He's looking right, rolling right, and he is going to take off and pick up about 5 yards. So it is annoying. It is an annoying way to end the season, no doubt about it. I'm always a big proponent, and I don't like losing to the Falcons. I don't care what the game situation is. But given where the Saints are at, I'm not really that surprised. This is the result. I thought they'd have a chance. Looking back at it, the missed field goal was a huge miss. Block punt loomed large. Which one was it too as well? The Pettis OPI loomed large. So a lot of mistakes that cost them. 3rd and 5. Saints looking to keep the drive alive. Shuck's going to step up. He's going to dump it off to Audric Estime, and he's going to get chopped short. So 4th down coming up. Saints got to get it going here. Let's see if they can at least keep this drive alive. 4th and 1. Literally, Estime looked like he got chopped down like a tree on that play. They might go run here just to pick up the 1st down, and they will. They're marking him short. Well, I think he got the 1st, though. No, they're going to give him the 1st. Okay, so the drive continues. Probably just going to go into the 2-minute warning, though, and the Saints will. So if the Saints are going to win this game, they need points here, and they need an onside kick. We did see in Miami, Raheem Morris cracks me up. The motherfucker's looking over here like, he didn't get it to the line of gain. Well, buddy, then you could have thrown your challenge flag. You waited till it hit the 2-minute warning, and now you're inside 2 minutes. You can't challenge it. What are we doing here? That was just 10 points on special teams. But that's my point, right? Like, look, if you score 10 points offensively, you don't deserve to win a football game. So I'm not going to sit here and say the Saints deserve to win this game. Falcons were the better team today. But where the Falcons were the better team is I thought the Saints defense and the Falcons defense both played well. So the offenses weren't really impressive. The Falcons special teams wise, way better than the Saints special teams wise today. And that was the game, right? Like Falcons didn't have any missed field goals. Falcons blocked a punt. That tells the story. And, that's why I said earlier today, like if there's one thing that the Saints have to fix, and I hope to God they do, is making sure that they fix special teams in the offseason. Because right now, it's a problem. In fact, this game was one possession game for the most part of the win in my book. I mean, look, what you didn't want is major injuries. So we're going to find out what happens with Kelvin Banks. Hopefully he didn't have a major injury. Hopefully it's just like an ankle sprain or something. You don't want your quarterback to get hurt, and knock on wood, hopefully for the rest of this drive, he stays healthy. And look, defensively, I saw Chase Young ball out. I saw Cam Jordan continue to do his thing. Obviously secondary had that lapse with the Drake London thing. But again, you hold your quarterback under 200 yards. That's fine. I just think, there was nothing today that really irked me. I just hope the issues that were the reason the Saints lost today are issues that get addressed. I don't think this special teams is going to be good enough to win games that matter next year. Because right now, this is a meaningless game. But, that matters. See what else we got here. Why was Rattler not dressed out? He had a finger injury, I think it was. I think it was a finger injury. I think index finger, I think it was. Raheem is a bum. Penix injured, mediocrity, and Cousins old mediocrity. Not worried about Atlanta moving forward. I mean, look, Atlanta's got a really good roster. I do want to say that. Like, there's no question about it. Like, Atlanta's got talent. The quarterback and the coach is the question. It's hard to win in the NFL when you do have those question marks. So we'll see what happens. 1st and 10 for New Orleans. They're at their own 45. We're due for one more Kevin Austin Jr. drop if he gets a target here. Shuck's escaping. He's going to throw this one on the run, and he's going to hit Dante Pettis, who's going to go down at the 28. Nice throw on the run by Shuck there. So Saints getting everyone lined up. They're at the 30. Shuck takes a snap. He's looking right, working his way over the field. He got Pettis again. Pettis is going to cut back, and he's going to cut to the 15. So Saints are, in this drive, they're in business, but we'll see. That's a crazy good throw on the run. I'm surprised Pettis didn't fumble it, to be quite honest. Shuck's looking left. He's throwing left. And it is, wow. All right. Ronnie Bell with the one-handed touchdown catch. What the fuck? So Saints are technically not out of it. That's a great throw, great catch. And just like that, Saints are technically praying for an onside kick. At that point, I guess you just take the garbage yards, right? You just take the yards on the drive and say like, oh, you know what? But we'll see. Special teams is going to have to make a play here. That's a crazy good catch. I'm not going to lie. I mean, great throw, obviously, because if the Falcons defender is not grabbing his arm, it's a very easy pitch and catch. But, man, guess pat him till the season's over, right? So Charlie Smith, let's see if he's got an onside kick in him. Let's see. So Charlie Smith's going to have a really nice onside kick attempt here. He had one against Miami that ended up being, great chance. And actually, they did recover it. I think, technically speaking, it shouldn't have counted because I think Vele was, where was it? Vele was technically not letting it bounce within 10 yards, but it ended up being, called Saints ball, which is funny. We'll see if that happen here. But yes, I see the comments. Shout out to Ronnie Bell. I obviously thought that, well, not thought. This Saints receiving core wasn't doing much today. That was a great catch by him. And also a pretty cool moment. And now technically this game is still alive, which means Bucks and Panthers players are going to be sitting there probably shaking watching this onside kick attempt. And I have to say, this is the perfect way for the NFC South to wrap up here. Like an onside kick could determine it. Because if the Saints get the ball here, all bets are off. And obviously, if the Falcons recover it, this game is quite literally over, and the Panthers will move on and win the NFC South. So we'll see what happens if Charlie Smith has any magic left in him. But man, that missed field goal looms large in a game like this. So let's see if Atlanta's going to call timeout or if they're just going to let Charlie Smith kick this thing and hope the hands team does their job. Smith's going to kick it. It is not rolling for, oh my God. Yeah, that was a horrible attempt. So Falcons recover it. That's the game. Panthers are going to win the NFC South because of this Falcons win. That's going to do it. Tough stuff, nothing else to really say about it. Good God, Kyle Pitts made that a little bit more difficult than it had to be. But yeah, look, you lose 19-17 in a game where you miss a field goal and you had a block punt. And special teams matters, and it's because of shit like this. So tough way for the Saints to end their season. Last drive ends on at least on a high note, but obviously didn't want to see them lose this game. Don't want to get swept by the Falcons. And that part probably is what stings the most, for sure. But look, roster-wise, I've talked about this a lot. There's so many things that are going to have to improve. And hopefully it does get improved. You guys talk about it. Yeah, special teams is a problem. Talk about it all day. It's not good enough. It's not good enough to be in this spot. Telling Panthers fans you owe us. Oh, man. Yeah, Panthers fans got to be hyped up. Yeah, you don't want to lose to Kirk Cousins twice, that's for sure. Man, who did that back? That was a crazy-ass backflip to end the game. All right, so let's get into our post game here. Saints are going to fall to 6-10 on the season. And that will probably secure them. Not probably, it will secure them the number 8 pick. So tough result there for the Saints, but it is what it is. All right, let's get into it. Saints fall to 6-11, on the year. They're going to be picking 8th. Really, really, really tough way for the season to end. But look, I think that we're going to feel about this where special teams has to improve. Wide receiving core has to improve. Offensive guard play definitely has to improve. And the health of this team, health has been a problem for the Saints. It's been a problem for the last couple of years. Definitely was a problem this year. And when you don't have depth, it definitely kind of rears its ugly head. But, this season finishes where there are certain things that I still haven't changed. I do think Kellen Moore is getting better as a head coach. I'll talk about Shuck in a minute because you guys know where I kind of stand on Tyler Shuck and how I do believe he is a very good quarterback. I think Kellen Moore has really showed growth as a head coach. There are things today where it's like, man, earlier this season he wouldn't do. Like at one point, it's like, man, we're just going to run the damn football because these receivers can't catch a cold. Does that. I like that. Being aggressive on 4th down. There's some development there. Getting away from those Taysom Hill runs that he was doing, and then towards the end of the December, and then even now, just letting the ball stay in Chuck's hands, I think that was pretty good. So I think there's development with your head coach. He's the youngest head coach in the NFL, so you hope that he continues to grow on that path, and maybe he will. Defensively, Brandon Staley's done a great job this year. I think Brandon Staley has really elevated this team defensively. The back half of the season, they were a top 10 defense in so many metrics. Chase Young has played excellent. For him to finish with double-digit sacks, I think is pretty awesome. He definitely deserves to have that type of recognition. And look, I think for this defense now, what happens with the aging players? DeMario, Cam, do they want to come back a year? They've earned the right. Like, they've played well enough to come back. We'll see what happens. And Alontae Taylor will be a free agent. So Saints are going to have to figure that out there. I'd imagine they'll want to bring him back, but we'll see what that ends up being. I think for New Orleans, the biggest thing I could say, and I know I've been saying it a while, special teams is going to be something they have to address. I think if there's a coaching change to be made, that's what you look at. I don't think that special teams has been good enough to warrant bringing everyone back. And quite frankly, I'd probably blow up the whole staff there. So defense, A+, the way they performed down the stretch of the season. And even today, they played well. They kept Bijan in check. Yeah, Drake had that one really, really cool passing at the touchdown reception, but didn't really go off the way I thought he would. Got pressure on Kirk Cousins. So defensively, I'm excited about. Offensively, I still feel good about your rookie quarterback. I still feel really good about Tyler Shuck. No, an interception against Atlanta is not going to change my mind. I still think he had a really good game. I still think that he is a good quarterback. And I think that for New Orleans right now, it is about building around him, because at this point, I know you guys mentioned in the chat, and I'll get to the chat in a couple minutes. We talked about it. The talent around Tyler Shuck is not great at the moment, okay? Especially in a game without Chris Olave. You're looking at him throwing at Kevin Austin Jr. and Dante Pettis and who else? Ronnie Bell. Like, these are not legitimate NFL wide receivers that he should be targeting. And I think if the Saints can get out there and add another player or two to this wide receiver room, you will get Olave back, you will get Vele back, but maybe you go get one in the draft. And if you're able to do that and add more talent, you get to think a little bit more about, well, what can Shuck be? I know what he's been with less around him. What if you give him more talent? Like, he looks like a good quarterback right now. If you elevate the supporting cast, does he go from a good quarterback to a great quarterback? So those are the questions I have about him. And I think those are questions that hopefully, all right, will be answered this offseason. I don't want to see the Saints go out there and stick with these guys that they have at wide receiver. I want them to get better. I think guard play has to improve, because if you improve the guard play, you'll improve the ground game. If you improve the ground game, life's easier for your quarterback. So, and life's easier for Kellen Moore as well as a play caller. So, got to improve offensively when it comes to the personnel, and you got to improve your running backs. I think Estime had a really nice end to the season, but I don't think Audric Estime is the type of guy where he's going to be getting the lion's share of carries. You need to get yourself a legitimate running back, and I think the Saints can do that. Maybe in free agency, there's a really good pool there, and if not, obviously you dip your toes into the draft waters and get someone. So, I think that, that's kind of where I'm at. I feel really good about the development of the coach. I feel really good about the development of the quarterback. And I genuinely feel like the Saints are building towards being an NFC South contender, and not the type where it's like, oh, you're only winning your division games. Like, that's not where I want them to be. And I don't know if that's where they will be, quite frankly. I think they can be better than that. But I think the way they finish this season, the expectations for 2026 has to be competing for the NFC South. And anything less than that would be a major disappointment considering how they finished this season. And I know they finished on a loss, but there's so much good you saw down the stretch from quarterback coach combo. And in the NFL, as complicated as this league can be, it's simple in the regards that if you have the quarterback and if you have the coach, you got a chance. And we saw that. Like, the Saints were in a lot of games down the stretch with Shuck, in large part because of the way he played. So we'll see. But anyway, guys, that's kind of my rant here. Let me get into all your comments and go from there. Got a super chat from Blair. Thank you for the support, Blair. Says, proud of the effort. Fun season with you. Bad OPI call. Young is a monster. 2026 NFC South champs. Yeah, I mean, that OPI call really hurt. I mean, Saints would have taken the lead there, so that would have been nice. All right. So you lose that. That part stinks. Chase Young, no doubt about it. He's great. I still like that the Saints fight. I still like that, you do have a shot there for an onside kick to get back in this game. Obviously, it just rolls kind of out of bounds, which stinks. But look, I think this team's trending in the right direction, and I'm fair. I usually probably caution towards being, I don't want to say pessimistic, but I caution towards like being very weary about where this team can be. I try not to get ahead of myself. I think this team can do some great things next year. I really do. In a division that's not that good. So we'll see. But yeah, obviously getting swept against the Falcons is not ideal, and I'm not happy about that. All right, let me get through more comments you guys have here. Xavier saying still pushing for Shuck Rookie of the Year. I mean, I don't think he's going to win it, but look, the fact that the Saints have gotten to the point where he's in the conversation is pretty damn awesome. So, look, I think that he played well. Limited talent around him today. And look, I'm sure you guys are joking about it. I'll find the comments if one of you guys are joking about it. But, man, it is awesome. Oh, wow. Let me get to this. Who dat 71291. Man, thank you for the support. That's incredible. Let me pull up the comment that you have attached to it. Bro, your podcast/live game streams have been max level therapeutic, particularly through the first 12 games of the season. You do fantastic work as always. Please accept this token of thanks. I really appreciate that. You didn't have to do that. I genuinely appreciate that. That's very, very kind of you. And it means a lot. And I can't stress enough. We've done so much ranting in these live streams and complaining about, oh, this guy's going to get fired. I mean, last year I felt so bad. I felt like I did a 2-month thing where I would just talk about Dennis Allen's got to get fired. I'm like, man, this got to be frustrating. And I will say the beginning of this season was tough. I mean, this team started off 2-10. To finish 4-1 in the last 5 games and make us Saints fans feel like these games are worth watching and they are building towards something is awfully exciting. It definitely makes me feel good about the future of this team. But more importantly, it's more fun conversations because we get a debate about, what they should do, who they can add, as opposed to, all of us in here, fire everyone, blow up the staff, like 2-10, unacceptable. Like, at least there is something there to feel good about. So, that makes me happy. Thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate that. All the kind words you guys say, I genuinely do really appreciate it. And I'll be very honest with you guys. I started this season thinking, man, the Saints are gonna be bad for so long. And I love doing these live streams. I love talking with you guys. It's very fun because you guys know, like, I don't get to have Saints chats on my Mondays through Fridays, whatever, like with everyone on the streets. Like, that's not what's happening. Like, I'm hearing about Jets and Giants or some nonsense, right? So I love talking with you guys. You guys are fantastic. But truthfully, like, at the start of this season, I was like, this team looks like just dead in the water. Like, what is the direction of this team? Where are they going? And yeah, they lost today and they got swept by the Falcons, and that sucks. Like, I get it. But I'm going into this offseason where I am so excited to talk offseason football and give you guys content. Like, I'm ready. Like, this upcoming week, we are doing talks about free agents. We're talking about who they could get. We're going to bring out videos for that. We'll do a rewatch for this game, of course. We'll talk about the draft and positions that they have to address. And I genuinely say this, and it's not because of, because the Saints finished these last 2 games, the last 4 or 5 games winning and all that. It's how you win, It's how you win. And the Saints have shown so much fight down the stretch, but the defense played great, and that's going to carry over. I really do feel like that because you're going to have Brandon Staley back, and Brandon Staley did a great job. Your rookie quarterback's only going to get better, in my opinion. Your rookie head coach is only get better. And I have not felt better going into an offseason about the Saints. I haven't felt this good in maybe 5 years. Genuinely. Like, I'm going into this offseason where I'm like, if the Saints are healthy, they're winning the NFC South. And I know that gets you nothing, right? That doesn't get you anything. That doesn't guarantee shit. But I feel really good about this team. And I'm telling you, I did not feel this way 3 months ago. Quite frankly, I was like, man, how many more podcasts do I want to do where we're talking about them losing, where they're talking about them being directionless? And, that's not the case. That's not the case. So that's just kind of where I'm at. So I really appreciate all the kind words you guys had. Let me keep it going with the chat. Definitely missed a couple from you guys. So let me get through them. Even losing is a win today. Good luck with that schedule. Well, yeah, I mean, look, that's another thing, right? So you get a 4th place schedule. You get the 8th pick in the draft as opposed to maybe the 11th. So look, I'm not saying losing's good. I don't want the Saints to lose games. But if we're going to try to say, hey, let's look at the silver linings and things, all right, that will count as one. Absolutely. So just really, really awesome to look at the future of this team where top 10 pick, all right, that's a bonus. I think the difference in the 4th place games are humongous. Let me find the 4th place schedule real quick. So the Saints next year, you're going to play the Commanders or the Giants, I believe. So, I mean, to me, that's a win. I think you would play the Giants, so that helps. AFC West, that's the biggest one. You're now going to play the Cardinals as opposed to playing either the Rams or the 49ers. To me, that's a win. Like, I'm not saying like you're going to win that game automatically, but would you guys rather play the Rams or the 49ers or the Cardinals? You'd rather play the Cardinals. Well, that's what the Saints are going to get out of this. So if I'm just going to look at the silver linings of things, I really think that that's something that we got to look at, and that's one of them for sure. So let me keep going here with what you guys got. We'll be doing this one. This will probably be our longest post game in a while because obviously it's the last one, and I don't want to let you guys hang in. So I'm going to try to get through every comment you guys have here. So get them off, and I'll make sure to put them in the chat. Kellen needs to get better. The first quarters all year killed us. Yeah, I think that's something that we'll talk about. What's the checklist of things the Saints have to improve this offseason? Can't start slow all the time. They've done it time and time again. It has really set them behind the chains, and it can't keep happening. So we'll see. But I think that's something that's got to get better. We keep this close to so many starters out is impressive. I think that's fair. Yeah, look, offensively, so many starters out. I mean, it's an absolute mess with what they rolled out. Not even mad about the interception. I felt Kellen kept calling that play over and over. Tracy Porter showed us what happens in that scenario. Yeah, I think that's fair. And you know what's funny? It's like they called that enough times. And earlier, I mean, they were just resulting in drops from Kevin Austin Jr. anyway. Now you go to the left side and ends up being an not an incompletion, interception. So tough stuff there. I don't love the call, but it is what it is, you know? Defense was excellent. I agree. Defense was outstanding, especially second half of the year. Saints go into the offseason with coach and quarterback being two of the few things that you're not overly concerned about. It's not a bad spot to be in. Get some guards, some wide receivers, and an edge. Yeah, I mean, I would argue maybe a running back too. I think that'd be huge for the Saints. But yeah, for sure. I mean, look, if we rewind 3 months ago, I was like, man, I don't know if Kellen Moore's the guy, and I don't know what they got at quarterback because at that time, you know, obviously Shuck wasn't playing. Now I feel like Kellen Moore could be the guy, and I feel like Shuck is definitely good enough for them to win with. And quite frankly, there were a couple games this year where they won because of, and we haven't been able to say that for the Saints. Positive, Shuck bounced back. Falcons struggle to beat our practice squad. Baker Cryfield doesn't see the playoffs. Yeah, look, either way, like I think Saints and Falcons fans are going to be the winner in all this because they're kind of deciding which teams are going to be miserable, and this is kind of how it goes. And look, the Saints losing this game might be the reason Raheem Morris comes back. So here we go. We got the schedule, the opponents. I'll bring them up. Their home games will be Browns, Steelers, Packers, Vikings. Obviously, their divisional opponents, the Cardinals, and the Raiders. So, you know, getting that last place schedule helps a lot. Their away games, Ravens, Bengals, Bears, Lions, division games, and the Giants. So, not bad, man. I mean, I don't like that they have to play on MetLife shit turf, but those are manageable opponents. Those are very manageable opponents. Got a super chat from Fitzmagic23 says, I'm completely bought in. Spend some money in the offseason, extend Chase. Gonna keep saying this. Yeah. Oh, man. Look, if you can get, I know people don't want it to happen, but if you can go out there and get Francis, put him at right tackle, kick Fuaga to guard, I'm sorry. We watched that college football playoff game. And by the way, for Chase, they did extend him already. I do think, though, after next season, they'll probably talk shop with him again. But they have him for 2 more seasons. So, thankfully, you don't got to worry about that. But, yeah, if you get Francis, put him at right tackle, kick Taliesin to right guard, I think offensively, you should be able to dominate in the trenches. And man, that'd be interesting. So I'm not opposed to that. But if the Saints are going to do that, you got to get playmakers in free agency. I'm talking like a Breece Hall at running back. I'm talking maybe getting another wide receiver. So if you do that, all right, fine. Because what a luxury. You know, we talk about improving guard play. The biggest luxury to improving guard play would be if Fuaga moved to guard, because then that is the elite of elite options as opposed to spending big on someone. But I don't know. But I appreciate the support, Fitzmagic, and I think those are some good comments. So I appreciate that. All right, let me keep going here. Let me see what I missed. Going to try to circle back. Brandon Staley's done a superb job. He just needs a defensive tackle stud. I think Broadham will be that piece. I hope he is. Yahtzee saying Giants fans had me thinking we had a Pro Bowl roster. I mean, the funniest shit in the world, man. They literally were like, oh my God, but he's got Olave. Olave's a really good player. Please watch the rest of this team. And I think that's the problem that a lot of football fans have. And I think actually not even just football fans, us as humans, we're so prone to being opinionated. And funny of me to say, because I got an opinion about everything, right? But yes, the Giants are depleted. I know Neighbors is out. I know Cam Scadaboo's been out. I'm not going to dock Dart for that, right? I think, by the way, Dart's had a really good rookie season. He's had a really good rookie season. But to try and convince us Saints fans and gaslight us into believing that Shuck's got better weapons is insane. If we were to rank everyone who was healthy, yes, Olave would be the best option. I don't know if I'm putting Juwan 2, but let's say I put Juwan 2. 3 would be Wandale. 4 would be Tyrone Tracy. 5 would be Theo Johnson. 6 would be Darius Slayton. And then again, these are not, you don't want to have an ass off, right? No one wants an ass off. But God, like, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining when it comes to the Saints wide receivers. Like, anyone who watched this game would have been like, man, yeah, that's a problem. This is a problem that he's throwing to Ronnie Bell and Kevin Austin Jr. and Dante Pettis. Like, it just shouldn't happen. So, kind of annoying. Chris, are the Saints locked into the 8th pick? I believe so. Let me pull it up for you. Strength of schedule, I think, is going to determine it. But as of now, they have the 8th pick. So, I don't know if Kansas City's strength of schedule can change enough for them to leapfrog the Saints. So, right now they're at 8. I think it's 8 or 9. They can't fall at 11, which is good because that's where the furthest they could have fell. So yeah, we'll see. But it's not bad. It's in terms of falling, by the way, the biggest fall would probably be the Giants. They had the number 1 pick last week. Now they're picking 5th. So Bucs fan here, Saints, you suck. Sorry about that, man. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, I'm not mentioning Neighbors because of the torn ACL. Obviously, if we're going bar for bar, Neighbors, I think, would be the best out of that bunch of the players that I mentioned. So that's where I'm at. It's all your Saints' fault. We're out of the playoffs. Fire Bulls. I mean, no way we're blaming this on the Saints, are we? I mean, come on, man. The Bucs. The Bucs lost, let's see how many games over the last stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They lost 8 games since October 20th. Like, sometimes, because you know what? Us Saints fans have been through it, right? I remember a couple of years ago, we needed the Rams to beat the Niners, and then the Saints would get into the playoffs. If you don't take care of your own business, you can't sit there on Sundays and hope that someone does it for you. And I say this as someone who's been on as a fan who's been on the opposite coin of it, where we've seen the Saints get knocked out because of that. And it sucks. But it's football, man. It's football. And I think that the Bucs had plenty of chances. They didn't make the most of it. And that's the spot they're in. Jack said, do you think Pitt stays with the Falcons? I think Kyle Pitts would I think be a really good fit for Kansas City, especially if Kelsey's going to retire. That's what I would say. Thanks for all the fun this year and previous years, Chris. Sad the year's over, but excited for the future. See you next year. Trey, I appreciate it, man. Really, really appreciate you. You've been a stalwart for these live streams. A lot of you guys have, Trey, Jack, Fred, Ed, Robert, D23, I'm missing so many names, but I'm just trying to remember, like Trey, obviously, Hellman, Doza. I mean, so many of you guys come in here. Dream Ends, Hoodat 71291. Like, I mean, Yahtzee, going through it. So many of you guys just come in and are willing to talk Saints ball with me, and I really appreciate that. So, sucks this year ends, obviously, but I really am excited for the future. I'm excited to talk more Saints football with you guys over the next several months. The Shuck interception was also a result of Kellen repeatedly calling double slants. Soon enough, they figured it out. Yep. Don't disagree with that. Don't disagree with that. D-line were incredible. The corners were a bit questionable. Yeah, I thought they played a little bit too off ball, especially in the second half. But, it's hard to really get on the defense. I think the defense did their job. Jeremiah saying, I'm so happy about next year. Let's just worry about free agency and do a lot of pre-draft stuff. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have you covered here, Jeremiah, for sure. This week coming up, we're getting into free agency because there's a lot of running back talent, and I'm going to keep saying I sound like a broken record, but if you don't believe in the Saints going to get a running back in the first round like a Jeremiah Love, then yeah, you go out there and go get yourself a running back in free agency, and there's a lot of good ones. Rob saying, oh, well, we'll be back, spend an offensive guard and draft. Props to Staley, get him some pieces. Cheers to the future. We've got a quarterback. I agree with that. Rob. And the last part's the most important one. We got a quarterback. Sai, yeah, we lost a better draft position long haul as long as Mickey doesn't screw it up. I think that's fair. Look, if they spend wisely in free agency, they'll be fine. And look, they could gain assets. Like, I'm just going to throw this out there. This is not sourced. I'm just trying to read between the lines, okay? I truly believe we might get to a point where a team like the Colts, a team like the Vikings could get desperate and be like, hey, Derek Carr, do you want to play next year? And who knows? Maybe the Saints get like an extra day 3 pick out of Derek Carr. Just want as many bites at the apple as possible in terms of draft picks. Too many New York media heads pissing their pants and screeching for Dart. look, Dart's had a good rookie season, so I want to be very careful about how I word it because I don't want to sit here and, what is the term? Is it yuck someone else's yum? I don't know. I think that's what it is. So I'm not going to try and like derail Giants fans the way Giants fans have, for some fucking weird reason, have decided to make shitting on Tyler Shuck their personality. But he had a good season. He had a good season. And I just, just be fair about it, which I think it's very hard for people to do. Good news here for the Saints, by the way. Kelvin Banks' injury isn't believed to be long-term. So at least that's good news. If Olave played, we would have won. I think so. I definitely think so. Keep fighting the good fight, Chris. Appreciate your platform. Appreciate you, Rob. I really, really appreciate that, man. Thank you for that. And thank you for all your comments this season. Joshua says, sucks we lost and got swept by the Falcons, but you get a top 10 pick and you build around Chuck. The hard part is over with. Yeah, I mean, that's the hope, right? If he is your quarterback, then yeah, the hard part is over. The hardest position to get right is the quarterback. And I bring up the Jets from a couple of years ago. The Jets had a draft where they got Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, and Breece Hall. Like hit. Didn't win anything because you don't got a quarterback, and you won't win anything without a quarterback in this league. So for that to happen, for them to potentially have their quarterback in Shuck, pretty awesome stuff. Shuck had 2,400 yards in 9 games. That's almost 5K in a full season. Future's bright, my friends. Who dat? Yeah, and obviously you don't want him, especially in today's NFL where passing yards don't come as often. You don't want to be in a spot where he's got 5,000 yards passing. You obviously want the run game to be better. But obviously, in a vacuum, what he's done, if we put it through the course of a full season, very good rookie year. King of Culture saying we're winning the South. I agree, man. I agree. Alvo Reese, Caleb Down, Jeremiah Love are my top 3 for that first pick. I mean, if they could get any of them in terms of value, will be great. But we'll see. I mean, there's no way Reese is making it to 8, though. Downs, maybe, because just safeties aren't valued as much. But, yeah. Man, I was watching Cam Jordan this year. Cam had a great year. The fact that Cam got the double-digit sacks is so freaking awesome. So freaking awesome. Let's keep it rolling here. Do you care to have Blackman back next season, or does Tanker secure a spot? Also, should we expect Alante to stay? I would expect Alante to stay personally, but we'll see what happens there. Blackman, I don't know. I mean, he's not going to cost much, so if you want to bring him back, there's no harm in it, but I think you're rolling with Sanker, and you're hoping he takes that year 2 leap. He's a smart football player. I think he's going to keep getting better. What another season with you, Chris. Always enjoy you talking Saints. Appreciate that Half-Life. I really do, man. Really, really do. Cardinals are going to be the 2026, 2008 Lions. It's possible. Cardinals are also going to keep their head coach, which is quite interesting. And let's be real, the Cardinals this year, fully loaded, barely beat the bad version of the Saints. So we'll see. Why you keep saying draft a running back? You never draft a running back at top 10 at all. I mean, for me, Jeremiah, I think you could. I don't know if the Saints are in that spot, though. And to me, I'd rather just sign one. I would rather sign one, especially because Rico Dowdle, Javonte Williams, Breece Hall, Travis Etienne, and Tyler Algier, all those guys are free agents. All those guys. They're not all getting retained. So I would love to see the Saints sign one, bring back Audric Estime for depth. Obviously, Devin Neal will be back, and kind of roll from there. So I think that's just kind of where I'm at. I won't knock anyone for knocking Jeremiah Love. I think Jeremiah Love's a great player. And if the Saints are able to round everything else out in free agency, then yeah, maybe you take a swing at Jeremiah Love. But I don't know. Oh, actually, good call, by the way. Yeah. So Kenneth Walker also free agent. Let me bring it up because while we're on that subject, by the way, a little bit of a tease. We will do a deep dive on running backs later this week because there's a lot. All right. Let me value by market. Okay. So all these running backs I'm going to mention are free agents this upcoming offseason. Breece Hall, J.K. Dobbins, Kenneth Walker, Rico Dowdle, Rashad White, Javonte Williams, Travis Etienne, Isaiah Pacheco, Kenneth Gainwell, Tyler Algier, and those are just a couple to name a few. You also got some like underrated players that I don't think are going to go for a ton. Like the restricted though. Like Sean Tucker, like guys like that. But let's just talk about the top ones, right? All the big names I mentioned to you, they're all unrestricted. So do I think any of those guys are going to get tagged? No. I mean, Kenneth Walker, they got Charbonnet. J.K. Dobbins, no injury, and they got R.J. Harvey. Jets of Breece Hall, maybe. Rico Dowdle, I don't think so. They paid Chuba Hubbard. I don't think they're going to pay him. Rashad White, I would worry about. He's a really good receiving and pass blocking back. I worry about as a runner, is this just going to be Jamal Williams 2.0? I get scared about that. Javonte, I don't know. He had a really good season with Dallas, but Dallas spread you out with Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. That I don't know if it's a great fit. And ETN, really good season. I don't know if Jacksonville lets him go, but like I said, like when you're going down the list, and Kenneth Gainwell, who by the way has worked with Kellen Moore. So when you go down the list and there's like 10 running backs, I think to build your roster the right way, you probably sign one in free agency and then go out there in the draft and address a different position. And I'm going to be honest, you guys I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if the Saints make the right moves in free agency, and let's say you still didn't address guard, then they're probably telling you, yeah, we're probably drafting O-line and kicking Fuaga to guard. I know that might upset people, but go watch Miami's game against Ohio State and go watch the way they neutralized that D-line of Ohio State. Purple saying draft day live stream, ? For sure. For sure. We'll get to the logistics of it as we get closer. But as long as Boot Crew's game, I'm game to do a live stream then, and we'll figure out the logistics of what time and all that. Dowdle, best low tread option. I kind of agree with that. I like that. Let's bring up Rico Dowdle's carries career-wise. 236, 235, and the year before that, 89. So let's just get through the numbers, right? He's got 567 career carries, right? If I were to go to Breece Hall, who, again, if the Saints sign Breece Hall, I'd be really happy about it. 755. So if you're trying to like worry about how much mileage is put on their bodies, it's a lot. It's a difference, right? Like when there's almost a 200 carry difference, something to consider. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm BPA all the time. If the best player available, and let's be real, it isn't. I can't believe I'm doing this because I said I wasn't going to do this. I got to stop vouching for offensive tackles. If the goal is go offensive tackle, because then that moves Fuaga to guard, and then Fuaga is going to be a really good guard for you, then yeah, because you'd have your bookend tackles and you'd have Fuaga at guard. You got to figure out what to do with Eric McCoy. He can't stay healthy, unfortunately. But the idea is there for the Saints to have one of the best O-lines in football, and if that happens, you win in the trenches. That's how you win in this league. So it's not the worst idea, but they got to make sure they do their things in free agency and get out there. Our young secondary played great this season. Yeah, and see, that's an area I'm excited for. Quincy Riley was a rookie. Jonas Sanker was a rookie. Kool-Aid was a second-year player. Those guys are going to get better next season. And then what happens? Does Alante come back? If he does, great. If not, then you got to figure that out. But the talent is there. We wouldn't do anything in the playoffs anyway. Yeah, so that's why, like, oh, you're saying from a Bucs fan perspective. I think it's fair. I'd argue this for you since you're a Bucs fan, I believe. And yeah, you are a Bucs fan. So let me get to that. Well, what if that means Bowles gets fired? Wouldn't you view that as a win? So crazy. I still can't believe people thought we were winning 2 games, even going 0-17. I mean, look, I thought the Saints were heading for a really ugly record at one point, and thankfully they didn't. Sign Linderbaum from Raven. You think Baltimore's going to let him go, though? I think Baltimore, he should be a priority free agent for them. I think he should absolutely be a priority free agent. So we'll see. Let's get to any other comments I missed for you guys. Do you think the Saints can win the division next year with another solid draft class? Abso-freaking-lutely. Absolutely. I'll tell you right now. I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see as we get closer to the draft and obviously what the Saints do in free agency. But I'm excited. And look, let's talk about cap space for a sec. Let's talk about cap space. Let me pull that up. I'm interested in talking about that. So let's go. 2026. The Saints are going to be, I know they're going to be over the cap, but it's not by much for their standards. So depending on where the cap is, it could be about like 15 over. I'm sorry. This team was clearing out like 90 mil over the cap. 15's nothing to them. So they can do that. Now, for 2027, as of now, the Saints are going to be in the top 10 in cap space. They're going to be, let's see, to be precise, they're going to be ninth in cap space next year, or the year after that. So you want to be responsible, but at the same time, they do have leeway. They got wiggle room for the first time in a long time. They're out of the woods, I would say, when it comes to the cap space issue. So do you want to go all in? No, I think you got to be smart. But do you want to improve this roster, though? Yeah, because if you're winning games with Mason Tipton and Dante Pettis and Kevin Austin Jr., could you imagine? It'd be interesting. Ravens could have picked up Linderbaum's 5th year, but didn't. We should swoop in now. Bid. I would be fine with that. I wouldn't disagree with that at all. I think he's a great player. And then that would be the pro, right? You do get to move McCoy. At this point, though, with McCoy, like, is moving positions even going to help in terms of keeping him healthy? I don't even know. I wish it did, because honestly, that's the thing about the Saints, right? If McCoy's healthy, 3/5 of the O-line's set. It's set. And let's say you did what we said about drafting an offensive tackle and kicking Fuaga to guard. 4/5 of your O-line would be set, but you can't really bank on McCoy being healthy. As of today, are you more content with drafting Love in the first round or getting a back in free agency? And would you release Kamara? I think I'd rather have a running back in free agency, personally. My opinion could change, though. My opinion, we're going to be fluid on this. As of now, I think I tend towards sign someone, but I might change my opinion. And as for Kamara, I don't know, man. I try to be very careful when talking about Alvin Kamara, because I don't want to come off as disrespectful, because he's a Saints legend and he deserves every bit of love that he gets from Saints fans. That said, how much is left in the tank? Can he be a valuable player for them? I don't know. So, I watched DeMario play really well this year. I watched Cam play well this year. Even when healthy, I just didn't see much from Kamara. And you want to say, okay, well, it's the O-line, it's the system. Audric Estime at times looked better than him. And I don't want to say that, obviously, but he did. So I don't know what they're going to do with Kamara. We'll see. We'll see if he wants to play football again. I think, Alvin's a smart dude. He could probably do other business ventures too. So we'll see what happens. Think Stuffman gets his bump and snaps next year with DeMario nearing the end? Yes, I do believe so, for sure. Is finding a DeMario replacement not a concern until next offseason? I would say this. You can take another swing at a linebacker in the draft, because you can never have enough at this point. But maybe you're not pressing the need as much if DeMario comes back. But it gives you flexibility. Love, A.K. Olave, Vele, Polk, Tipton, Jawan. I mean, that's a lot of playmakers there. It's a lot of playmakers there. A lot of playmakers. Got to think Chiefs don't let him walk, right? Who we talking about? Pacheco? When I was listing running backs? I don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to do. Running back in free agency, there's a reason their teams let them go. Rarely do you see running back play better or as good on the second team. King Henry's exception to everything. I don't want to say exception to everything, though. I will say this about running backs. We've seen running backs leave teams and then go to teams where, like, they're the missing piece almost, and things change. So it takes special talents. Derrick Henry's one. Saquon's another. McCaffrey's another, right? Like, they've changed teams and they got better, and the teams that they went to got better. But look, like, let's look around, right? Like, it was a low value signing at the time, but Cowboys got their money's worth with Javonte Williams. We'll see what happens. All right. We'll see what happens. But I genuinely think that if the running back market is not expensive, then that might actually be more suitable for the Saints. Again, I don't know which route is going to be best for them. I think we have to see how free agency plays out. But if the market is not too expensive, and I think there's going to be a drop, I think Breece Hall is going to get the most. Okay. And then you're probably looking at ETN right there, or maybe tied. Then there's going to be that second tier, and it's going to be Dowdle. It's going to be Javonte Williams. And then if you don't want to dive into that second tier, I'm sorry, even a third tier back, a Kenneth Gainwell, who's not going to cost you much, but as a receiver is going to be a good option. Not a bad idea. And he's worked with Kellen Moore. And again, then even if you sign a Gainwell, you have another weapon, but it doesn't pull you out of the Jeremiah Love business or anyone you want to take. Like, you may not want Jeremiah Love first round, but maybe in day 2, you want Jadarian Price. Or, I talked about it all of last week. I like the Penn State running backs. I like Katron Allen. I like Nick Singleton. there's playmakers there too. So we'll see. I think they're going to have options for sure. You want a Miami Hurricane? I can't blame you at all. I mean, that was an impressive win over Ohio State. Bullied them. Two things can be true. We can admire and respect a guy for his body of work, and we can acknowledge he doesn't have it anymore in part ways. AK's a great guy, but he's not worth the $18.5 million cap. I think that's fair. I think that's absolutely fair. I'm fine with Neil Miller for 2026. Better O-line, wide receiver, spread this offense out. I can't, as a Kendra Miller fan, though, I have to be honest with myself. I can't go into next year thinking that Kendra Miller is going to be the guy for them. I can't do it. Devin Neal, yes. I think Devin Neal's a good player, and he's going to be a nice part of a running back committee. I cannot get in. I can't do it again with Kendra Miller. I've done it too many times. I kind of refuse to do it to myself again. Giants Twitters going crazy about the Chuck pick. I can already smell it. I mean, they can do whatever they want. They're stuck with Joe Shane's dumbass, so I think that it is what it is, right? If they want to mock Tower Shuck, that's totally fine. I mean, they still got Joe Shane over there. I mean, good God, their pick has absolutely shifted now in terms of where it goes. I mean, if the Cardinals lose to the Rams, the Jets lose to the Bills, and the Commanders lose to the Eagles, they're the 6th pick. So it's tough. Got a super chat here from Mickey Loomis, Destroyer of Worlds. What did the Saints draft a quarterback in the first round? I mean, wouldn't that be like the funniest timeline in the world? I mean, obviously not going to be the case, but we've seen, not for the Saints case, but there's always a team that always makes a weird move. The Saints are not drafting quarterback first round, obviously, but I will not forget. I was sitting at my desk when the Falcons drafted Penix. I could not believe it. I was like, that is one of the crazier picks that I've seen in a long time. And kind of stands true even to now. AK is not worth the 18.5 as a workhorse, but as a receiver, he is. No one can be able to unlock the receiver part like Sean did, unfortunately. Yeah, for sure. I think, we talked about this probably during the Pete Carmichael time, and even in Clint Kubiak when he was running the offense. Like, the Saints, unfortunately, it seems like all the screen passes, option routes, the wheel routes, like all of it went out the window. And kind of hate that was the case, but that's kind of what happened, man. Hate that the Falcons don't have another first-round pick to waste this year. Crazy, man. That's a crazy trade. I get it. They wanted to boost their D-line, and they did boost their D-line, but, no top 10 pick this year is kind of rough. Blair says, edge is so deep in the draft this season. I know defense balled, but I think they probably grab one. Yeah, I think that's fair. And I'm for it, right? Could you imagine getting someone on the opposite side of Chase Young? I mean, we'll see who it ends up being, but, I was watching Oregon the other day. I thought they got pretty good edge players. Obviously, if you could get a Texas Tech defensive player, I mean, Jesus Christ, was it David Bailey, I think, was the one that I thought was insanely good. So I think edge and D-line, there's talent in this draft. And I think if the Saints want to go that route, I can't knock them. If they don't go Ruben Bain, Mesidor's been great. I mean, I thought he flashed a million times in the playoffs so far. So I think there's a lot of talent, and I would not mind if the Saints go and get themselves another defensive line, another edge rusher to go opposite of Chase. That'd be a great thing. Always funny watching them piss their first rounder down their leg. It is, but then when it happens to the Saints, it's like, well, the Saints drafted Trevor Penning. It's like, well, shit. Hope Kellen has the stones to move on from the special teams coach. He better. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't want to call for anyone's job in terms of, wanting someone to lose their job. That shit's tough, and I wouldn't want that, but I'm sorry. Phil Galliano, I don't know how you pronounce his last name. Got to go. And the funny thing is, he's been with the Saints for a while. He was a guy they retained from the previous staff. To me, that's like, hey, we hired Kellen Moore late, and Loomis, I know, was trying to help get him, round out the staff. So that's kind of what happened. But yeah, to me, got to make a special teams coordinator change. Don't think I heard Brian Brzez's name at all this season. Is he still starting caliber? I mean, unfortunately for Brian Brzee, I think he is a kind of a limited player. Now, unfortunately, he's been inactive, He's got that knee injury, I think it was, that he suffered in the Jets game. But look, I think at times he could be a good edge rusher, good rusher from the interior, excuse me. But I don't think he's a superstar or has like superstar potential. So, I don't think he's someone you're probably banking on long term. Signed Jeffrey Simmons, signed Breece Hall, and drafted O-line and receiver in the draft. I mean, that's going all out. That would be the going all out move. There's no question about it. Do you see Blake Grupe get blown up trying to tap? I did. I absolutely did see that, and kind of got helicopter. That's kind of what I'd imagine, like most normal folks. Like if I tried to go in an NFL game, I'd absolutely get blasted, and you see my whole body do like a fucking 360 spin. That's kind of what I think would happen. So it was kind of funny that it happened to Grupe, and I still don't understand why Grupe had to talk so much shit. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? It did. I don't disagree with that. I still think there's a way to get him to playing productive football. I'll say this about Brian Brzee. I don't know if he's as good as his sack numbers would suggest a year ago. I don't think he's as bad as his sack numbers would suggest this year. But obviously, like if he's not going to be able to rush the quarterback, I don't know how much value you're going to end up having in him. Who do you got for the Super Bowl? Holy shit, dude. Can I just say, I have no idea who I'm picking from the AFC. I'll turn it to you guys. Who do you guys have from the AFC? So I'll go NFC. I still think I'm going to go Rams. I don't love the road they might have, especially because a lot of it's going to be on the road. But I think their weakness to me is not as bad as other teams' weaknesses. And I know it's not fair to keep bringing this up, but I still worry about Seattle with Sam Darnold. I still worry. I know that defense is Super Bowl caliber. I know that running game could be Super Bowl caliber. I know JSN is a beast. Is Sam going to get to the Super Bowl? I have to see it. And if he does, it's a great story for the NFL, but I have to see it. So I'm still going to go Rams if Devontae's healthy. I think when Devontae's healthy, that opens up. AFC, I just don't know what to expect, because if we're going to talk quarterbacks, I think the two teams that have to feel the best about where they're at is the Patriots and the Bills, because obviously Drake May and Josh Allen. But the Texans they play like they come over to your stadium with baseball bats, mash your head in, and then carry out their business. So I don't know. I think that part of me still thinks that I might want to lean Houston because of defense. And DeMeco Ryans has won at least one playoff game every run he's had so far with Houston. I don't trust Denver. They kind of have a fraudulent smell to them. I don't trust New England. I don't think they have enough around Drake May at the moment. So I'm going to go Houston, but I will say this. If Buffalo's ever going to get it done, no Patrick Mahomes. I don't want to say it's now or never, but it's like, man, get it done. Get it done. So we'll see. Panthers and Ravens, let's go. What a matchup that would be. That'd be absolute. I will say about Baltimore. If Baltimore beats the Steelers tonight and Lamar looks healthy, same thing I'm going to say about Josh, where it's like, well, there's no Mahomes. Maybe now it happens. Lamar's got the whole stigma of can't play in the playoffs, but what if he goes out there and balls, Seattle versus Pats. I think that would be a pretty cool Super Bowl. Seattle versus Texans. That would be a 1st to 13 wins. Is that fair? I think that's kind of where we're at. NFC, don't be surprised anyone goes into Seattle and win. I still think the Rams could. I don't trust Philly. Their offense is a joke. Niners are too banged up. NFC South, give me a break. Packers look like a mess. And I don't think the Bears defensively are good enough. And I don't know if Caleb Williams will give you 3 straight games of consistency to get to the Super Bowl, which is what you'll need. But that's kind of where I'm at, Bills dream team, everything's lined up with the Chiefs being out, and they seem to choke. Yeah, I don't trust them. I mean, their run defense is atrocious. I don't know. I mean, there's so much pressure on Josh Allen this playoffs, probably, maybe more than anyone else, because if it doesn't happen now, when is it going to happen? And you'd imagine it will at some point because, he's such a good football player, but man, I mean, the window's open for them. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, we've been doing this for about 4 hours. You guys have been fantastic. I haven't ate anything in about 4 or 5 hours, so I got to get some food. I do see that, D23. I do see that. A lot of people are talking about Malik Willis, who's, by the way, is going to be a free agent. So I think he's going to get a bag from someone. I just don't know who will be. So it'll be interesting. But, he's had some good games, man. So shout out to Malik in development. I do worry about that with Josh, right? Is he going to win a Super Bowl? I don't know. So anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure. I want to wrap this up by just kind of giving you guys a thank you. None of this happens if you guys aren't interested in talking Saints football and spending your afternoon with us. And I want to thank all of you guys a ton. So many of you guys were coming in here week in, week out. Didn't matter if they were winning, didn't matter if they were losing. Obviously, we all had a lot of fun towards the end of the season with the Saints winning games and Shuck looking to be the franchise guy and giving us hope. So that was really fun. I really am so excited about the future of this team. And this is no bullshit. This is straight from the heart, and I mean it. I can't wait to make more content this upcoming week. We'll definitely bring up some stuff for you guys. We'll talk about free agency. We'll talk about the draft. We'll revisit this game as well. Even though they lost, we'll talk about some good and some bad. So can't thank you guys enough. You guys have been absolutely awesome. It's a little bit of a vent session for everyone and sometimes a little bit of a party for everyone. And it's great stuff. So if you haven't anyway, and you haven't yet, guys, I really, really just one wish is for you guys just to subscribe to Boo Crew Media if you haven't done that yet and like the video. But thank you so much, guys. You've been awesome. Until then, stay tuned for more content from the Straight Up Saints podcast. And hopefully next year, we'll be talking about some Saints football. Have a great Sunday night, everyone. We'll be back soon for more content. So make sure you subscribe.